Right now, a historic lake-effect snowstorm clobbering western New York with huge snow. We're talking feet, not inches, and this event is not over yet. I'm Alex Wilson.
I'm Dr. Rick Knabb. We've got a long way to go. Travel has been crippled in this part of the world, both on the roads and in the air, and conditions continue to deteriorate.
Snow as well, thunder snow. So convective nature to this this thunder snow, or the snow activity, giving us the thunder snow. Hamburg, New York, hearing those cracks of thunder. Now, last check, more than 33 inches of snow has come down here in Hamburg. 21 of that, about 21 and a half, came down in just 6 hours. So again, that air rapidly rising. Those snowfall rates have been enormous. More than 3 feet of snow in Orchard Park, New York. That required a little double duty to shovel and snow blow the driveway. You got to break it down and then snow blow it. And this is something that it's like the assembly line of snow clearing, Dr. Knabb. Only Buffalonians would know this.
Yeah, I don't think you can even call that shoveling. You have to, chop at the mountainside here and cause some sort of avalanche in your driveway to get it all to finally come down.
Yeah, you got to imagine they're swapping, right? Because if I'm shovel person, I'm like, hey, I want to be snowblow person. I don't want to be shovel person. My arms are tired.
And help out folks who are maybe not in as good a health as you, because there have been a lot of heart attacks
100%.
in past events like this where people overexert.
If you're a teenager, 20-something home from college, you can make some serious money. And then the moment of truth as you open up your garage door and you go, oh.
No way. No,
Dr. Knabb, do you just put the garage door back down? Back inside?
I'll wake me up when the storm's over. It's just not even worth trying to look outside and deal with it.
And it is crazy, but folks who have been in situations like this, they know you've got to stay on top of it, right? You can't wait till it comes to an end. Otherwise, it's just too much work.
How do you even know if there are cars on the road? Yeah. You can't even see them.
No, I guess you're just looking for lumps at this point. You're just assuming the lump is a car or a truck.
And it's amazing how much has fallen, but how much more we have to go. What are we, halfway through this event?
Yeah, roughly. It started last night or yesterday afternoon in earnest, overnight, all day today, and then into tomorrow. Look at these totals still yet to come. Some areas, another 2 feet.
This is a lifetime of snow for me.
Yeah.
And they're going to get this in a day or two.
I still think it would have been amazing to send you up there just to get a reaction, right?
You would have gotten a reaction, that's for sure.
A reaction. Let's get you caught up on what we know right now. More than 100 flights already canceled at Buffalo Niagara International. A state of emergency has been issued in Erie County, New York. In case you missed it, the NFL has moved Sunday's Buffalo Bills Cleveland Brown games from Buffalo to Detroit, and here is why. That's a stadium. That is Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. Where's my seat? Yeah, that's the least of the problems, right? I mean, you're not the field is at level with the fan seats. I mean,
so you have to get everybody there, but once they got there, where would they sit and where would you put all this snow? In the parking lot where they're going to tailgate? No.
I'm not going to lie, I was kind of excited to see how creative Bills fans were going to get with this kind of snow, but
I wanted to see the game in these conditions, but I understand why they moved it.
Logistically, it was going to be too much, because you're right. I mean, the worst thing, like, where is my seat? I can't find it, and it's going to take a lot of elbow grease to get that snow off the field and off the stadium. Lake effect snow over the last 24 hours. This is prolific lake effect snow that we have seen. Again, Hamburg, New York, 37 inches. And again, over 21 of that coming down in just a 6-hour period. So really incredible snowfall rates. Again, the convective nature, we've got that very rapid ascent, and we're seeing huge snowfall rates. Orchard Park, there where the stadium is, 3 feet of snow. Elma, New York, 30 inches. Lancaster, New York, 27 inches. And in North Boston, New York, 2 feet of snow out there. We've got the lake effect snow warnings, not just across southwestern New York and western New York, but also up into the North Country, parts of the Tug Hill up towards the North Country. You guys are under lake effect snow warnings. We've got winter storm warnings across western Michigan. Don't want to rule out the heavy snow that you've seen across these areas. Even some of those bands working over towards the Detroit metro area. Not going to see much in the way of accumulations there. So if you're thinking, wait, you just sent the bills to Detroit and it's snowing there, accumulations will be very, very teeny tiny over towards Detroit. But western Michigan, that's where we can see another 3 to 5 inches of snow. But the big totals, those are coming across western New York up into, again, the North Country of New York. So plenty of 12 to 18 inch totals. But I do think some areas still have another 2 feet in them, both into western New York and parts of northern New York. Even up to 3 feet. I think where we get that band setting up, you're going to see as we show you the radar and the future radar, this band isn't going to move much. And when you see the wobbles, you share the wealth of the accumulation. But when you have that thing stationary, you just see that snow piling up. Water vapor imagery, again, we've got those winds coming on the lake. So winds out of the west-southwest, and that is bringing the full fetch of Lake Erie in play. Even other lakes, so we've got multiple lakes in play. So we've seen yesterday the fetch coming off Superior and Michigan, Huron as well. And so cold air moving over very warm, wet lakes. That is the checklist that we look for lake effect snow. And as we get more of that lake, that open water in play, the fetch as we call it, so you've got that wind out of the west-southwest from the west to the east part of Lake Erie, that puts that output into those astronomical levels. Also, we've got Lake Ontario in play. Parts of Lake Michigan are in play this afternoon. And again, we're looking more at the western parts, say Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo. There you can see we've got some heavy snow in these areas. But look at that band, Dr. Nab, off of Lake Erie, also off of Lake Ontario. I don't want to rule out, it is snowing to beat the band up near the Watertown area.
Yeah, and you're going to talk about the Tug Hill Plateau details in a little bit. But that fetch, we usually talk about a fetch over the ocean. But we've got 250 miles of Lake Erie that these winds are blowing from start to finish, all across the entire length of the lake. And again, the overall setup we kind of understand, right? Low pressure to north, high pressure to the south and west, and so you're getting the flow over the lakes. But it's not just about the cold air going over the warm lakes. It's about the wind direction and how the surface winds and the speed and the direction interact with the lakes and where you get convergence and get lift. And again, this fetch just really amazing how it's going from one end of Lake Erie to the other. And when you look at what's going on first, instability is a big part of this, okay? It is a huge difference between the surface temperature of the lakes and the air temperature just a few thousand feet up. So it's convection. It's not severe weather convection, but it is convection. And so you have moisture and instability to get those clouds to form. But there's so much more going on. Here are the surface winds going across Lake Michigan and Lake Erie this afternoon. And when we zoom in a little bit, you notice that, yes, in general, all the winds are kind of curving this way around the low pressure to the north. But notice how these streamlines, even as they go across Lake Erie, are converging. They're getting closer together at the surface even before they get to the other side of the lake. Part of that is because when you go over the less friction of the water, not ice-covered lake, the winds speed up a little bit. And over land, they slow down and they want to cross toward low pressure a little bit more. So you get a convergence in there because of that effect. Then the winds get to the other side of the lake, and then land causes convergence, and then the terrain causes even more convergence. Big traffic accident in the lowest levels of the atmosphere, that forces the upward motion. But you go a few thousand feet up, unlike in severe convection, you don't have the directional wind shear. It's all blowing in the same direction several thousand feet up. That is why things tend to orient themselves along these lines. And with that instability, we've had tremendous amounts of lightning because of the strength of that convection, but also look at these mesoscale lows that have been happening. I'm going to do this loop one more time over the last 24 hours, and you'll notice how we've had some lightning, and some of that lightning was last night associated with these mesoscale lows right there and then right there. Bursts of lightning as it moved along. And then look at those lightning bolts anchored to Buffalo when the convergence happens on that side of the lake. So, Alex, this is a tremendous example of how the large scale interacts with the small scale in a way unlike any other time of the year.
Right. And you know, ultimately, if the lakes weren't there, we wouldn't have this. So really going to show that the environment as well as the wind direction, the cold temperatures all playing a really unique role. And this is the scene in Watertown, right? Looks like a Christmas card. Folks in Florida are going, absolutely not. Folks out there, that looks like a little dog, too. This is the kind of snow that you got to keep an eye on those little ones because they jump out the door and then they plop in there and you gotta help them find their way out. Watertown, North Country, New York, also getting in on some big snowfall accumulation. So yet to come, another 1.5 feet, I think, to 2 feet on the east side of Watertown. So we look at those communities really between Syracuse and the U.S.-Canada border. Those are going to be the spots that are the bigger winners here moving forward. I think Fulton over towards Rome to the north, we've got 5 to 8 inch totals. A little break towards Oswego, but the wind direction here really focused farther to the north off Lake Ontario. So again, a Watertown, Potsdam would be more in play. Same story for Rochester and Syracuse. They're not going to be big winners out of this event. We look at Western New York. Obviously, Dr. Knapp talked a little bit more about that, but another interesting factor, of course, we've got the lake. So we wouldn't have the lake effect snow without that. But we've also got another feature known as the Tug Hill Plateau. So a little bit of elevation off the lake coming into play. So you've got a little bit more uplift. So you've already got that air rising, the warmer air at the surface over the cold air, or as the cold air works, we see that lift. But then right as we get off the lake, we get a little more uplift, and that can help to enhance our totals even more. The Tug Hill Plateau can rise up to about 2,100 feet. Obviously, Lake Ontario at about 350 feet elevation. So you get that final rise. And we talk about all the mountain areas, whether it's the Appalachians or the Sierra Nevada, you get that air rising upslope. You get a little bit more condensation. You get a little bit more in the way of precipitation. And you can see those outputs on the higher side upslope, obviously lesser amounts downslope. So as that moisture from the lake is lifted a little bit more, we get very heavy snowfall. So it can take an already heavy snowfall rate and give it a little extra. It can up the ante a bit. Here is the forecast through the rest of today. Again, Watertown, you're in play. Buffalo, you're in play. Up towards, again, Potsdam, you're going to be watching for some heavy snow up near the U.S.-Canada border. The snow will be coming down fast and furious into tomorrow night. Then we see that wind direction change. Syracuse gets in play. Also down towards, say, Liverpool, Cicero. You're going to see some more snow, a place like Brewerton as well. Now, I want to take you over to Muskegon, Michigan earlier today. Heavy snow covering the roads there. You're like, I cannot see the lines. So one of those reasons why you don't have to be out there. Don't go out there because let the plows clear, make things easy. You just got to follow the tracks of the previous drivers. There it is. You got the tracks. Now you kind of know where to go. But Dr. Knapp, don't want to rule out or sleep on Michigan. Some healthy lake effect snow into these parts of the country as well. Yeah, it's just because of the Lake Erie and Lake Ontario effect being so high end. By comparison, it doesn't seem so bad farther to the west off of Lake Michigan, but it's still going to be a multiple rounds of snow kind of setup because not only do we have the general flow coming across Lake Superior and Lake Michigan, especially Lake Michigan, into the lower peninsula to bring some decent lake effect snow, we also have multiple disturbances riding along in this overall flow. Look at this disturbance coming into North Dakota. When this swings around, you won't completely need lake effect to produce the snow. This system is going to produce snow on its own. And then you add in the lake effect. So these disturbances coming in are going to dictate the timing of when the snow really kicks up and not just in the lake effect prone areas. And you'll notice tonight that disturbance is getting into northern Minnesota and you start to enhance the lake effect coming off of Superior. But then tomorrow, look at that. I mean, you have the disturbance coming through the Great Lakes, but then you get enhanced the lake effect off of Lake Michigan. So a lot of you in the western half of the lower peninsula of Michigan are going to really feel it when that
part of the disturbance comes through. So that's why these alerts are significant. It's a winter storm warning there in western portions of the lower peninsula of Michigan. This can be a life-threatening situation, and still to come several inches of snowfall, Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, up to Traverse City. And yes, the waters are probably the warmest over the shallowest Lake Erie, but a good portion of Lake Michigan is not all that cold, and it's certainly not frozen over yet. So we still, Alex, have a significant lake effect in the lower peninsula of Michigan, and what you got now is nothing compared to what is coming when that next disturbance rides through.
Right. So those roadways, you know, we always talk about those being particularly difficult ones. Use caution, especially as we head into the upcoming hours. Maybe you're out on Friday. Maybe this weekend's your travel time for Thanksgiving. We look at the numbers. 49 million folks traveling by vehicle. That's up about 0.5%. Planes, 4.5 million people traveling. So a more significant rise in air travel here coming off the heels of COVID. And then trains, buses, and cruises, almost 1.5 million people, up 23%. So again, seeing that post-pandemic rebound to travel here going into the holiday. When we look at our temperature outlook for the holiday week, likely to be below average across the Northeast. That would come into play for our Halloween parade, our Thanksgiving Day parade, warmer temperatures out west, and today's travel forecast looking good for most areas. Obviously, we're avoiding I-90 there and I-81 in New York, I-94, 96 across Michigan. We'll be right back.
Yo te puso fantasma, solo dices boom. Desaparezco. Está muy fuerte como.
The first ever all-electric Chevy Equinox EV. Up to 300 miles of range on a full charge. A starting price around $30,000. EVs for everyone, everywhere. Chevrolet.
At the Home Depot, you'll find appliances to fill every holiday need. In-store and online. From festive sweater washing to keeping your holiday favorites fresh, so you can do more together. Shop Black Friday savings on select LG kitchen packages at the Home Depot.
Where can you get holiday ready and host the entire family ready? Lowe's, actually. Black Friday is here. Get our best deals on everything for the season while you can.
First psoriasis, then psoriatic arthritis.
Even walking was tough.
I had to do something. I started Cosentix.
Cosentix can help you move, look, and feel better by treating the multiple symptoms of psoriatic arthritis. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Watch me.
Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
I have, over my 30 years, seen many patients who have excessive sweating. I recommend Carpe. It's a game changer.
Carpe is up to 3 times stronger than a regular strength antiperspirant. Try it today at mycarpe.com with limited time free shipping.
Did you grow up or spend time at Camp Lejeune as a child?
If you were a child on the base while your parents lived or worked there, call White Hart Legal now. The water at Camp Lejeune was contaminated for over 3 decades, and many families have experienced serious health issues. If this happened to your family, you may be entitled to a share of the billions of dollars made available by the Camp Lejeune Justice Act.
Call 1-800-225-9200. That's 1-800-225-9200.
First thing that morning, I woke up and saw that things were not good.
And I thought, well, this is where I'm going to die.
My moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, the burning, itching, the pain.
Emerge Tremfyant. With Tremfya, most people saw 90% clear skin at 16 weeks. The majority of people saw 90% clear skin even at 5 years.
Serious allergic reactions may occur. Tremfya may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you had a vaccine or plan to.
Emerge Tremfyant with Tremfya. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today.
My moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, the tightness, stinging, the pain.
Emerge Tremfyant. With Tremfya, most people saw 90% clear skin at 16 weeks. The majority of people saw 90% clear skin even at 5 years.
Serious allergic reactions may occur. Tremfya may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you had a vaccine or plan to.
Emerge Tremfiant with Tremfya. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today.
On the 8th, brought to you by Boost. Get the right nutrition. Get more out of life.
Age is just a number, and mine's unlisted.
Try Boost High Protein with 20 grams of protein for muscle health versus 16 grams in Ensure High Protein. Boost High Protein also has key nutrients for immune support. Boost High Protein.
Trying to catch me right. They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling.
A 30-day money-back guarantee. That's car buying reimagined. Only from CarMax.
Currently in our area, 43 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 44. Winds west-southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early. Low 32. Winds west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. Saturday, mainly sunny. High 41. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The power of the Weather Channel, now available to everyone.
This is epic!
Trusted live coverage when it matters most is now yours to stream with the Weather Channel TV app, real-time radar, and maps that let you track all the action.
Let's get into the details.
Personalization, customization, hundreds of hours of your favorite shows, and so much more. There's never been a better way for everyone to watch the Weather Channel. Available now on these platforms. Go to streamtwc.com to start your free 7-day trial.
Not the greatest of commutes this morning in Hamburg, New York. At least by Hamburg standards. Other people would call this just not a commute. You've got intense snowfall rates, thunder snow. The winds have been howling, cuts right through you. Temperatures are cold. You can see there is very little traffic out there, though. So a lot of the traffic has been the plow operators who are working hard. Hats off to them. If you see them, give them a cup of coffee. They're working those 12 on, 12 off shifts, and there you go. And it's continuous work, Dr. Nab, because really as soon as they clear a road, it's covered again. They got to get back out there and go over the same areas. So it feels like deja vu.
Yeah, and you're going to have that feeling for another couple of days until the end of the weekend when the system overall finally moves out. But we've got so many of the lakes producing significant lake effect snow. The lake effect snow warnings east of Lakes Ontario and Erie. And then we got winter storm warnings there on the eastern shores of Lake Michigan as well. So a lot of you at risk and really have to be as safe as possible when it comes to travel, because as much snow as we've already had, there's so much more to come, especially Buffalo southward and the Tug Hill Plateau area, but several inches in lower Michigan as well, because the overall troughing in eastern Canada and the Great Lakes remains in place. It's just multiple disturbances riding through all of that, and the pressure gradient is going to remain strong and aligned, especially along the spine of the entire length of Lake Erie. And we also have some areas that aren't right on the lake that are getting some significant snows. Look at this band that's well to the south, producing this snow squall warning in Pittsburgh area up north and east from there. Again, the visibility is going dramatically down. It is a good idea to stay off the roads in this area until 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, the ongoing really heavy snows east of Lakes Ontario and Erie, where more snow is to come, and we could measure from this point forward more snow, not just in inches, but in feet as well, Alex.
That's pretty wild. By the way, I'm glad you mentioned Pennsylvania. I-80, stay off of it, especially if you're not used to the area. It's going to be a tough drive this afternoon. Look at your 7-day forecast for Buffalo. Get a preview of temperatures this weekend. Oh, they're going to be cold. So if you're thinking maybe the snow will just melt and go away, not this weekend. Today, highs 34 with the snow. But look at Saturday, 29, 25 is the high on Sunday with some lingering snow showers early in the or late Saturday. I think by Sunday we see just the wind, and clouds and wind remain on Monday with highs back to near 40. It's going to feel like a little bit of a break, and we'll stay right around that 40-degree mark with less in the way of snow, more in the way of sunshine coming by the middle part of next week. Dr. Knabb.
Well, Alex, with the rising costs of energy and power outages more frequent, many homeowners are looking for independent energy sources when the grid goes down. Solar energy and solar storage is becoming a popular option for backup energy that is always there when you need it. SunPower's Sean Fitzgerald has more.
SunPower is a leading residential solar storage and energy services company. As we experience more severe weather, we are seeing a lot more unplanned outages. We've had big power issues in California, obviously in Texas. Just recently we had Hurricane Ian go through Florida. And so I think these kind of weather events and grid problems that are becoming more prevalent are really causing people to think about their energy independence and how can they make sure that they have electricity if the grid is down, because they can't rely on the grid like they used to be able to. SunVault is SunPower's battery storage product. What it does is it takes the extra solar generation that you have and stores it in a battery so that you can use it when you need it. I have personally been through a power outage that was 3 days, and SunVault can automatically detect when the grid goes out, and it can switch you into backup mode almost instantaneously, and I didn't even realize I was having an outage until I got the notification in the My SunPower app. During the summer, when everyone turns on their air conditioners, there's a big stress on the electricity grid. And what your SunVault system is able to do is help offset that. You can take your consumption down to nearly zero. SunVault has a few different use modes that you can select. One of them is called cost savings mode, where it will go find when your electricity rates are the lowest. It will charge your battery during that time, and then it will find when electricity rates are highest. And during that time, it will discharge your battery. And so what that's able to do is increase your savings even more than if you just had solar alone. We think having a company that's been around as long as SunPower is important because you're going to put something on your roof that you want to be there for 30 years. It's important to know that the company is going to be there to help you out if you need them.
It's more than breakfast. It's an adventure. Collect all 3 glow-in-the-dark tattoos for your whole clan in specially marked Kellogg's cereal boxes. And see Avatar: The Way of Water only in theaters December 16th. This film is not yet rated.
I dip when the mood don't feel right. I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to.
Limited edition fragrance, only by Glade. SC Johnson. You'll always remember buying your first car and buying your starter home, or whatever this is. But the things that last a lifetime, like happiness, love, and confidence, you can't buy those, but you can invest in them. We believe that your investments should work harder for the future you imagine. And that's where our strategic investing approach can help. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
This winter, meet the heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Season of Performance.
I'm Aubrey. I went to St. Jude because I had a cancerous tumor.
These kids, they don't deserve to have to go through this. My beautiful little redheaded girl has cancer. You don't know what's going to happen.
Please call or go online and become a St. Jude Partner in Hope for only $19 a month.
I think it's the most worthwhile place to put your money when it comes to childhood cancer.
To finally lose 80 pounds and keep it off with Golo is amazing.
I've been maintaining, the weight is gone, and it's never coming back.
With Golo, I've not only kept off the weight, but I'm happier, I'm healthier, and I have a new lease on life.
Golo is the only thing that will let you lose weight and keep it off.
Who loses 138 pounds in 9 months? I did. Golo's a lifestyle change, and you make the change, and it stays off.
Prescription strength relief from arthritis and joint pain is now available. And you can try a sample of this pain cream called Proterin without visiting the doctor. Listen to what users are saying.
I've been using Proterin for a couple of weeks, and I definitely feel the difference in pain and stiffness reduction.
I can thankfully say I'm virtually pain-free in both my knees.
Visit Proterin.com. If appropriate, you'll get a sample prescription. Just pay shipping. Please note, Proterin is only for people needing prescription strength pain relief.
Doug.
It's nice to unwind after a long week of telling people how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Showtime. Woo! I'm on fire tonight. Yes! Limu, you're a natural. We're not counting that. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Life has never felt so expensive. So why is Omar snoozing like a baby? Because he made the smart choice to shop with IKEA. Jamie hasn't stopped dancing since she left the store. With IKEA, you're caring for your wallet, and each other, and your guests, and the planet. Now you can afford even more with new benefits for IKEA family members, including 5% off all eligible purchases in store. Every visit, every day. IKEA.
A lake effect snow, bringing it. Lake Erie is putting on a show right now. Hamburg, New York has picked up 37 inches of snow. Orchard Park, home of the Buffalo Bills, 3 feet on the dot. And by the way, this isn't it, Dr. Knapp. We're not done.
No, our convective season is just beginning in the Great Lakes. I mean, my goodness, how energetic the convection has been. It's not as tall and deep as severe thunderstorms, but it is producing some lightning and some extremely heavy snowfall rates. And then it's a 4-day event.
Yeah, the rates have been wild. I mean, you go out there and it's like we could be standing here and we wouldn't even see each other. I mean,
it just takes, last night on Storm Center, we had Chris Bruin out there, and in the 3-minute hit he did, his entire right-hand side turned white.
Yeah. You're like, Chris, are you in there? Yeah. I mean, this is really impressive. And even for an area that's used to getting lake effect snow, a historic snow event there underway in Western New York. So we're going to be tracking it all for you during the show on Weather Underground. By the way, we've got Chris Bruin coming up in just a little bit. I'm Alex Wilson alongside our storm specialist, Dr. Rick Knapp. We're giving you a look at Buffalo right now. And that's a look at that band of snow. So you look out over the lake. You're like, oh, there I can see the lake to the right. To the left? No. Where's the lake? Can't see anything. We are going to look live now at Buffalo. Let's take you there. Yep, that's about what I'd expect. Shades of gray and white. That is unfortunately what we've got today. 33 degrees, by the way. So snow is sticking. They're out there plowing. Oh, and then look at that, Dr. Knapp. Wow. This is Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh showing out.
Snow squall warning means business. I mean, this seriously is a very, very dangerous travel situation, as you well know. Having been from that area.
Yeah, you get out there and it might be okay where you start, but if you end up crossing through this, entering into this, big problems. Winds are 20 miles an hour. You've got that wind-blown snow. Again, it's just blowing every which way. It's tough to see. I-80 across Pennsylvania. It's a lot of the state that folks even from outside the state are going to be using. I'm just going to tell you, don't drive it on a day like today when you've got the snow squalls moving through. It is a very tough highway to be on when the visibility is low. And you can see I-80 north of the snow squall warning. So even though you're not under it, we are seeing some snow bands across parts of I-80. But the worst of it, that deeper shade of blue, the near zero visibilities moving through Pittsburgh, already exiting to the east of Butler, and then headed towards places like Punxsutawney. Eventually, Johnstown, Altoona, that I-99 corridor could be in play. delay, not under the warning now, but of course the National Weather Service, we just talked to them yesterday in State College about the importance of these snow squall warnings. So you may be getting the alerts on your phone. You may be seeing the signage. If you were out on the roads and you were like, yeah, I saw a sign, it said exit, you do want to exit. Pull over, let that snow squall pass, because it is nearly impossible, if not just downright impossible, to drive in these. Sudden onset, life-threatening travel conditions expected. That's what we're looking at when we've got those snow squall warnings issued. Heavy snow, gusty winds, and essentially a rapid drop in visibility. So goes from, fine driving to just a sheet of white in front of you. And they're issued similarly to severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings because they are so life-threatening. Obviously, if you're sitting in your house, it's not life-threatening, but if you're out on the roads and you're hearing that alert go off on your cell phone, take action to protect yourself. These are the kind of situations where we get those pile-ups, those really dangerous and deadly car accidents that involve multiple vehicles. Lake effect snow warning still off of Lakes Erie and Ontario. We've got the winter storm watch for Erie, Pennsylvania over to Cleveland, and then Dr. Nab, the winter storm warnings into Michigan. What about Thanksgiving week? A lot of people have travel plans.
Yeah, and it continues to be very difficult to determine what happens Thanksgiving and afterward because the models are in such great disagreement about whether or not this ridge out west is going to break down at what time to allow the disturbances out in the Pacific to come in and maybe make for our next storm system coming across the U.S. So white lines are the middle upper level pattern. There's that ridge breaking down. And then when we get to Monday and Tuesday, a system comes into the west, and by Wednesday, getting into the plains, if the Euro is right, and then going slowly over the Midwest and Great Lakes Thursday and Friday and into the Northeast on Saturday. Could it get out of here in time for you to travel home on Sunday? That's at least a possibility. But let's look at what happens at the surface. After the rain in Texas and the Great Lakes event is over, Monday and Tuesday look generally pretty good, except for that system coming in Pacific Northwest. But then Wednesday and Thursday could be kind of impactful in the Midwest and the Great Lakes. Hopefully you're inside enjoying time with family. And then Friday could be problematic in the east. And then Saturday, a snowy system perhaps, but then hopefully it will be out of here in time for you to travel home on Sunday. But stay with us. That forecast could change for your trip home next weekend.
My active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. Now, Skyrizi helps me get going by treating my skin and joints. Along with significantly clearer skin, Skyrizi helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Skyrizi attaches to and reduces a source of excess inflammation that can lead to skin and joint symptoms. With Skyrizi, 90% clearer skin and less joint pain is possible.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like the feeling of improving my skin and joints. And that means everything. Now's the time to talk to your doctor about how Skyrizi can help treat your psoriatic arthritis so you can get going. Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
The only person who can out-holiday you is you after a cup of Dunkin's new creamy cookie butter cold brew. The donut's just a little bonus. America runs on Dunkin'.
When cold symptoms keep you up, try Vicks NyQuil Severe. Just 1 dose starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. For max strength nighttime relief, NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, best sleep with a cold medicine.
Do you like chocolate bars?
Consumer Cellular has the best customer service.
They care about the customer.
The best price with the best quality.
The prices, the coverage.
Consumer Cellular provides the exact same premium coverage as the nation's leading carriers. And while prices rise, ours are dropping. Get unlimited talk and text with a flexible data plan starting at $20 a month.
It's like 4 scoops of ice cream for the price of 1.
Switch today and save up to half on your wireless. Add extra lines anytime for just $15 each. Call or go online.
At Honda, we know you have to drive through the mud if you want to reach the rainbow. Brave the desert before you find the oasis. Conquer the mountain to see how far your dreams can take you. The all-new CR-V and CR-V Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
Hi, Phil Swift here. Before winter storms hit, get prepared with the Flex Seal family of products. A deep freeze can cause pipes to crack, but Flex Tape can easily patch those busted pipes. Flex Glue your old snow boots so they can make it through another season. Stop cold drafts and insulate your home by sealing up windows and doors. Make the Flex Seal family part of your winter storm kit. Flex Seal, because it works.
We've got questions about Medicare plans.
Well, we've got a lot of answers. How can I help?
Well, for starters, do you have a Medicare plan I can actually afford?
How about a plan with a $0 monthly premium?
Well, that's a great start. What other benefits can we get?
Things like dental, vision, and hearing. But let me help you pick the plan that's right for you.
Ooh.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-65-AETNA to get answers to your questions and pick a plan that's right for you. And let's make healthier happen together.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to be verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
A beloved father and military man vanishes without a trace during a bitter cold snap in Texas. It isn't until the body's found preserved in cold water that detectives realize the weather may not have been against them all along. Don't miss an all-new storm of suspicion coming up next Tuesday.
A beloved father and military man vanishes without a trace.
He left his car keys. He left his wallet. He left his cell phone.
After a few days, we just kind of went into panic. Like, this is not like him.
As multiple agencies join forces to find him, they must contend with a cold snap that threatens to derail their entire case.
A lot of people think Texas is scorching hot all the time, and that's simply not the case.
It gets real cold, and it gets down below freezing at night.
In the end, could the winter weather hold the key to unlocking this mystery?
The weather really plays a larger role than most people think.
It does. That is Storm of Suspicion 3. All new episodes coming up this Tuesday starting at 8, 7 Central.
Well, there's no mystery about what's going on in the Great Lakes. A multi-day major lake effect snow event, a life-threatening situation. I mean, it's interesting. In some ways, it's beautiful. But it is also dangerous if we don't play it smart, and especially in these warning areas downstream from multiple lakes, but especially Erie and Ontario, getting the heavy snows so far measured in feet, and we could add to that in feet over the weekend. So we've got, it's really a Thursday to Sunday event here because of this continuous troughing in the large scale over eastern Canada and the Great Lakes, but we have multiple disturbances riding in. That next one coming into North Dakota and Minnesota, it's already producing snow without the help of a lake, so you can imagine what that's going to do when it gets to even Lake Michigan and then Erie and Ontario, where we have the tremendous fetch across the 250-mile-long Lake Erie. That is where we're really amplifying the lake effect. But also, not just along the lakes, we've got that snow squall warning there down in the Pittsburgh area. So this is just as dangerous in terms of travel and visibility. So absolutely the best option to stay off the roads in that Pittsburgh area and northeast of there. And you notice that the temperatures are not way below freezing. That's an indication of the warm, moist, unstable air that's coming off the lakes because the cold air going over the lake temperatures in the 50s in some cases. So it's really unstable, getting some thunder snow, heavy snow rates of multiple inches per hour. And that's why locally, not just because of the banding over the lakes due the convergence over the lake, but then when you hit the land downstream, you really get the convergence. The low-level winds slow down. You get a little terrain enhancement, especially in the Tug Hill, and that's why over the next couple of days we'll get a lot more heavy snow. But it's not totally random, right? When disturbances come through, it can really enhance things. And look at what happens tomorrow in the evening. You get that disturbance coming through, enhances the Lake Michigan, and then the Erie and Ontario snows. Alex, finally it'll be out of here later on Sunday.
Yeah, and our friends in Canada, they get a little as the wind direction changes as well. Giving you a virtual view of Buffalo, those blizzard-like conditions at times. You know, the lake effect bursts of snow can be at such a high rate that, again, you're plowing and then you're going over the same roadway and replowing. You're shoveling the driveway in multiple stints. This is not one that you want to wait till the end and then go out there and shovel, or you're going to have a lot of work to do. So, you know, you go out in shifts. Okay, we got 5 inches. Let's go get it. Clear it after 10. Clear it again at 15. Clear it again. It makes for a long day, but less back-breaking work. And also, remember, think about those roofs. We're going to have a lot of snow on top of them. Already 37 inches in Hamburg. Orchard Park, the home of the Bills, 36 inches. So obviously why they are no longer playing the game in Orchard Park on Sunday and instead taking it over to Detroit. Detroit, you've seen some snow showers today, but Ford Field not going to be what we're seeing at Highmark Stadium. Lake effect snow warnings, those continue. Jamestown, Dunkirk, up towards Hamburg and Buffalo, even as far east as Batavia. This is a spot that could see some significant lake effect snow and some significant accumulation. You know, we've seen some bursts around a place like Rochester. At this point, you've got that snow south of you, so head south on 390. You'll get into that wall of snow, but in downtown Rochester, it's a mix of sun and clouds. Same for at the airport. Dunkirk, you've got the clouds. Buffalo, mix of sun and clouds, but obviously between those locations, boy, it is a whole different ball game. A place like Blaisdell, you cannot see a thing. And snowfall still to come. Dr. Knapp, you pointed it out. We can still see over a foot, even over a foot and a half in some of these areas through the weekend.
Yeah, and so this is where it's beneficial to have your stadium far away from a lakeshore when you have a lakeshore enhancement of the snowfall. So if you're in Ann Arbor, you're far away from Lake Michigan, and then the other lakes are putting the snow on the other side. So it'll be cold, but it will not be nearly as snowy. So that's why they can move a game to Detroit and have the travel be okay. Columbia, South Carolina, Tennessee at South Carolina, a lot chillier, but certainly not very snowy. Pretty good football weather. Now, also, the World Cup is starting. Go USA. It's being played in the Middle East. At least they didn't do it in the middle of summer. Temperatures will be quite pleasant. I could even play in that kind of weather.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Do you know about its camera? Like the way it fixes blurry photos. Magically erases annoying distractions. And even fixes photos taken with your old phone. Now that you know all that, did you know switching has never been easier? Start fixing with Pixel, the only phone engineered by Google. Get Google Pixel 7 Pro for free, plus get Pixel Watch, Pixel Buds, and more.
Attention Marines and family members who spent time at Camp Lejeune.
If you spent time on base at Camp Lejeune prior to 1988 and developed any of these cancers or suffered any of these injuries, you may be eligible for significant financial compensation. Call Camp Lejeune victims to discuss your case now.
Leaking underground tanks contaminated the drinking water with benzene and other highly carcinogenic chemicals, up to 280 times acceptable levels in some instances.
There have been numerous reported cases of exposed personnel developing cancer and other serious health conditions. It is critical to take action and call Camp Lejeune victims now.
If you or someone you know spent time at Camp Lejeune before 1988 and you developed any of these cancers or injuries, call to determine your eligibility for financial compensation now. If you don't win, you pay nothing.
Call 800-625-9122. That's 800-625-9122.
Doing things your way always feels good, especially when it comes to your Medicare coverage. The right Medicare plan for you may help you save money and get more out of life. So do yourself a favor. Call now to speak with the team at Medicare Enroll. They'll give you a free Medicare coverage review and help you get a plan with the benefits you deserve in a way that works best for you. The team at Medicare Enroll can help you compare your options. They offer Medicare plans from leading insurance companies. Plus, they can see if you qualify for a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits, like dental, vision, and hearing coverage. a flex spending card for covered expenses, and a Part B premium reduction on some plans in certain areas. Medicare Enroll has already helped millions of Americans. Now it's your turn to get Medicare benefits your way. It's a free service, so don't wait. Talk to a licensed insurance agent and get the straightforward guidance you need at no extra cost to you. Feel confident in your Medicare choices. Call Medicare Enroll for a free coverage review today.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile, America's fastest growing mobile provider. Now, when you buy a Spectrum Mobile unlimited line for just $29.99, you get another unlimited line free for 12 months. Spectrum Mobile delivers reliable service coast to coast with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G included. Get a Spectrum Mobile unlimited line for just $29.99 and get another unlimited line free for 12 months. Call 844-897-5232. Visit SpectrumMobile.com or your local Spectrum store.
Over 200,000 people with non-valvular AFib have left blood thinners behind with Watchman, a safe one-time procedure that reduces stroke risk and bleeding worry for life. Watchman, it's one time for a lifetime.
The chicken always seems to be a big favorite. People love it. You're not pulling it out of a box. You're making food. Yeah. I like being able to put pride in my food and pride in my work. You get to walk right in. You see me making your chicken. This is going to be in your bowl. This is it. This is it. This is it.
I travel the world to carve a path for those who aren't afraid to get a little bit dirty.
That is the craziest thing I have ever done in my life.
Let's go on an uncharted adventure.
A freeze warning is in effect. Currently in our area, 44 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 44. Winds west-southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early. Low 32. Chance of rain 30%. Saturday, mainly sunny. High 41. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So saying you're snowed in here, I guess it's kind of the understatement of the year, right? You're like, we're a little more than snowed in. We're, gosh, I don't even know. What do you call it? Like, we're just inundated. Hamburg, New York, more than 3 feet of snow has come down in the last, day and a half? And by the way, 21 and a half of those inches of snow came down in 6 hours. Can you imagine 6 hours, 21 and a half inches of snow? So that's over 3 inches an hour?
Yeah, it's 3.5 inches an hour, 3 to 4. Yeah. It's like being buried by an avalanche, but it all came from the sky.
Right? I mean, anything you left outside that's small, you're not finding it.
No.
So, and this is the time where you got to, dog owners up there know you got to kind of carve the path or have something else set up, and you get out there in shifts because you don't want to go out, say Monday when you have to go back to work, and then start digging the car out. Oh, no. That would be a full day operation. And there's still more to come. So that's why, I know Jim was talking to somebody and he's like, yeah, I go out. I've been out a couple times already and I'm going to go out more. We've seen plenty of video of folks doing that because still another 12 to 18 inches. I think we could see some areas picking up another 2 feet of snow here across western New York. And same story up into the Tug Hill, North Country, New York, another 18 to 24 inches possible in places like Watertown. And here is the culprit. We've got this band coming in off of Lake Erie. I mean, this thing is just bringing the snow south of Buffalo. Now, Buffalo itself, you've actually got some sunshine peeking out. So if you're up in the city, especially on the north side, very little to write home about. South of the city, whole different ball game. So really goes to show how these are smaller scale events. These are not, widespread synoptic systems where everybody's getting a foot of snow. A few miles can make a huge difference in the accumulation amounts. Then we've got this band coming off of Ontario, and boy, right in here, You can't see your hand in front of your face. And I don't want to rule out, we have some really heavy snow coming down across western, even into central Michigan as well. So again, where you see those deeper shades of blue, that's where the snow is coming down at more of those 2 to 3 inches per hour snowfall rates. Same story up into the northern parts of lower Michigan and even down into Pennsylvania. We've got some bursts of snow, some snow squall warnings prompted because of the intense snowfall rates, the very low visibilities that accompany it. Allegheny, Armstrong, and Butler counties here under the warning. So 422 if you are traveling, 22 if you are traveling, 70 across the state. Even portions of 79 have been affected. Please pause your travel if you need to get out there. Just wait for these snow bands to go through, because if you've driven through it, you know it is tough to see. Up there into parts of Michigan, same story. I think some of these major roadways are going to be affected. 94, 96, use caution. Even portions of 75 getting in on some big bursts of snow. And Charles Peak has been out there, Dr. Nab, getting some pretty cool views for us of what it's been like. This is kind of what we're talking about. You know, sunshine, nothing happening around Buffalo, but you're looking south, and that is that band. That is that snowfall.
It really is amazing how narrow these bands can become, but there are physical reasons for why that happens, and it's a combination of the large scale working with the Great Lakes to not only bring the warmth and moisture off of the relatively warm lakes, but also align these things into bands. And the timing of the heaviest snow has to do with disturbances riding along in this broad area of low pressure to the south of that, of the low that's in Canada. And what's happening in Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, says we've got a frontal system coming through with this disturbance, but there's another disturbance coming. So that's why you're going to have some ebbs and flows with the lake effect snow. But with, you know, a disturbance coming through right now, that has really angled the fetch of the air going over Lake Erie over the entire 250-mile spine there. And what that is doing at the surface is causing the winds to converge over the lake even before they get to Buffalo, because the winds accelerate with less friction over the lake, and they're moving more slowly over land, and that causes them to bend a little bit to the left, and over the lake they bend a little bit to the right, and they converge over the lake right in there. But then when they hit the other side, then more convergence because of the slowing down of all the air over land, and then the winds a few thousand feet up are all aligned in the same direction. There's no vertical wind shear in terms of direction, so all the banding just lines up. So that's why we have such a well-defined band coming into the area, Buffalo downtown and south from there, Alex.
Yeah, it's a wild afternoon there across western New York. And we've got much more coming up here on the Weather Channel at 4 o'clock, another episode of Pattern, followed at 5 o'clock by Storm Center. We're taking you back to the Great Lakes live with Chris Bruin. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Did you grow up or spend time at Camp Lejeune as a child?
If you were a child on the base while your parents lived or worked there, call White Hart Legal now. The water at Camp Lejeune was contaminated for over 3 decades, and many families have experienced serious health issues. If this happened to your family, you may be entitled to a share of the billions of dollars made available by the Camp Lejeune Justice Act.
Call 1-800-225-9200. That's 1-800-225-9200.
For your most brilliant smile, Crest has you covered.
Nice smile, Brad. Nice. Thanks.
Crest 3D White, 100% more stain removal. Crest, the #1 toothpaste brand in America.
Put an end to the dreaded dust cloud every time you empty your vacuum with the revolutionary Shark Wand-Vac self-empty system. It empties itself after every clean, trapping the mess for up to 100 times less dust in your home. The Shark Wand-Vac self-empty system.
During Walmart's Black Friday Deals for Days, every Monday is a huge deal. Get a $25 Disney Princess doll with kids' dress and accessories, plus other hot deals. Join Walmart Plus and you can shop online 7 hours early. Head to Walmart's Black Friday Deals for Days.
Did you know you can save with GoodRx, even if you have insurance?
You know, I thought my prescription was covered until it wasn't, but GoodRx helps with that.
I work for myself, so I buy my own insurance. And I still check GoodRx.
I'm on Medicare. I check GoodRx because it can beat my copay. Who wouldn't like that?
Even if you have insurance, GoodRx can help you save.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Another good reason to check GoodRx.
For COPD,
Ask your doctor about Breasttree. Breasttree gives you better breathing, symptom improvement, and helps prevent flare-ups.
Breasttree won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breasttree more than prescribed. Breasttree may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
If you have COPD, ask your doctor about Breasttree.
With Solo Stove Pie, pizza nights look a little different. Watch your crispy creations cook to perfection with Pie's panoramic opening. With dual fuel, you can customize your flavor profile with your choice of wood or gas and be ready to eat in just a few minutes. So you can make the most out of the time you spend together and create new traditions in your own backyard. Fire up your pizza night with $10 off using promo code PIZZA10 at solostove.com.
It took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. Then we took a hard left in East Africa. A right at Baja. A 180 in the empty quarter. And that 65-degree incline at Hell's Revenge. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
Michael's Black Friday sale is going on now. Get 70% off frames, ribbon, and more. Up to 60% off trees, decor, and ornaments. Plus, epic deals on thousands of items in store and online. Hurry! Sale ends November 27th.
Right now, a historic lake-effect snowstorm absolutely clobbering western New York with snow. It's stacking up in feet, not in inches, and this event is not over yet. Thanks for watching Weather Underground. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Dr. Rick Knabb. Travel crippled in this part of the world, both on the roads and in the air, and conditions are continuing to get worse, and we have a couple more days of this to go.
Yeah, and it's not just in western New York, by the way. We've got really awful road conditions across Pennsylvania. We'll walk you through that in a minute, but take a look and listen. Yep, that is thunder snow. No wonder Jim Cantore is up there, right? We have just such active weather taking place across the Great Lakes. Cold air, warm Great Lakes, perfect scenario for some convective activity. And Dr. Knabb, that air is rising rapidly, and we've got thunderstorms.
Yeah, and over Lake Erie last night, you could see rotating like mesoscale lows, and they would have a burst of lightning in them, and then all the last 24 hours when the bands hit Buffalo, continuous lightning right when it hits land.
Yeah, it has been this is going to inspire meteorologists in the future. You know, so some kids out there experiencing this going, I need to know more. And then this is the result, Dr. Knabb. The kids love this too. This is Hamburg, where they've already seen over 3 feet of snow.
Yeah, so if you've always wanted to study convection, it doesn't have to be severe convection. It can be severe snow convection, and the impacts are tremendous. And dealing with this much snow is physically demanding and dangerous if you're not careful.
Absolutely. You know, we talked to the National Weather Service there in Buffalo yesterday. They said, give yourself breaks. And that's why you see people are out there shoveling now. And I think sometimes people watch from other parts of the country and go, why are they clearing it now when it's still coming down? You've got to stay ahead of it.
If you wait, you'll never get out there until maybe spring when it melts.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to think about our roofs as well. And as you pointed out, think of your friends, neighbors who may not be able to get out there and do the work themselves.
Yeah, I think the two most life-threatening aspects of this event are the roads, but also overexertion, and we've seen that in past events like this.
Yeah, so many times. So if you're a youngin' and you want to make a few bucks, go out there in the neighborhood and advertise your skills.
And you'll be doing some favors for people who really need the help.
Yeah, you'll be doing some good business too, because this is still what's yet to come, Dr. Knabb. So we've already seen over 3 feet, and now could see another 2+ feet.
This would be enough of a storm. But when you've already had 3 feet in some spots, I mean, this is really going to be up there in terms of historic lake effect snow events.
We looked at some of those 4-day totals yesterday. This is going to go down, and maybe not for the city of Buffalo, but for some of the surrounding areas. Although Buffalo, you're going to get in on it this afternoon. Want to get you caught up on what we know right now. More than 100 flights have already been canceled at Buffalo Niagara International Airport. A state of emergency has been declared there in Erie County, New York. And in case you missed it, you're living under a rock. The NFL has moved Sunday's Buffalo Bills-Cleveland Browns game from Buffalo to Detroit. You're like, why? Here's why. Yeah, that is the stadium there. Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, and it's in there somewhere. Yeah, where do you even put your beer? Where do you even put yourself, right? Like, where's my seat? Oh, there it is. This seat's taken by a mound of snow. So they don't want to have to deal with, one, the logistics of trying to get that stadium ready and playable for an NFL game, but also thinking about the logistics of getting folks to the game. It's still going to be, tough out there on the road. So going ahead and moving that to Detroit, and they'll be playing in Detroit on Thanksgiving as well. So maybe they'll just stay and make it a nice week out there in southeastern Michigan. These are the totals that we've seen so far. So again, this is not counting what I just showed you on the floor. That's snow still to come. Some of these areas could end up over 4, even over 5 feet by the time all is said and done. Hamburg, you've seen 37 inches, 36 inches in Orchard Park. In Elma, 30 inches, plenty of spots over 2 feet as well. So the snow, the hits, they keep on coming as that band is just set up and nearly stationary. It'll move every few hours, but man, this afternoon we have seen it, just holding tough over that part of the South towns. Lake effect snow warnings, not just around Buffalo and South, but also into the North Country, Tug Hill Plateau area, Watertown. You've seen some big snow today. And then winter storm warnings over into parts of Michigan where we've seen some heavy snow. Snow into Pennsylvania prompting snow squall warnings. That's for that quick burst of snow that makes things really dangerous on the road. So even though accumulations are going to be minor there, still the snow causing problems. Obviously, what do our eyes go to? Southwest parts of New York, North Country New York, where another foot and a half, 2 feet is possible. 3 to 5 inch totals there across Michigan, where we've seen some of the heavier bursts of snow continuing. Same for off of Lake Ontario, off of Lake Erie, but you see down into Pennsylvania where we've got those areas outlined in purple. These are those snow squall warnings I was telling you about. So they're moving, they're transient here, but where you get into this deeper shade of blue, it's a wall of snow. And if you are in your vehicle, you are going to have problems. You are going to have problems. If you're at home, fine. This is not going to be life-threatening. But if your phone's like beeping and going crazy and you're like, why? This is life-threatening to drivers. So if you get that alert when you're out and you're in a safe spot, pull over. Don't be out there on the roads when these snow squalls are moving through. Visibility is near zero. So Armstrong, Indiana, and Westmoreland under that snow squall warning right now. All right, I want to take it to New York. Chris Bruin, our meteorologist, is live in East Aurora, not too far from Orchard Park. Chris, it is incredible. You got to be having a blast. This is a part of the country that's snow savvy, but even for these areas, these folks have been like, this is a little much.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even, I don't even know where to start. It is just absolutely wild. Now, we were in downtown Buffalo this morning, and we're like, okay, we had about a foot of snow there, but it was actually sunny. And then a band would come through and last 10 minutes, and then, so we're like, this doesn't do it justice. We want to show you the raw fury of lake effects. So you saw Jim Cantori this morning in Hamburg. Well, we wanted to get a different location just to show you how extensive this lake effect snow band is. And we're in East Aurora. All right, so we're in the south towns on the southeast side of Buffalo. Yesterday we drove out here, and there was some snow on the ground, but it was much easier to get here. It took about 20 minutes. All right, this morning it took over an hour and a half, and we weren't going much faster than 10 miles per hour. In fact, we made it here without slipping and sliding until we got into the parking lot of the inn that we're staying in, and we got stuck. But at least it was at the parking lot. We're here, and we're safe and staying put through the duration of this event, because I don't think anyone's getting out. I mean, the plows have been through. I keep wiping my hand off of my iPad, and within 20 seconds, it's completely covered. The best way to describe it is raining snow. So really quickly, I just want to show you, look at the weight of this too. Look at the trees. I mean, these are beautiful. But look at the weight. I mean, it just is caked on everything. I don't even know what this is. I have to say there's a fence in here somewhere, but it gives you an idea. I feel the fence. It's somewhere in there. But it gives you an idea just how deep we're talking about. And then it drops off under there. So you get an idea just how much snow we're talking about. And it's like this all the way down. Let's pan down here, Mark, and just show you. This is Grove Street. And then Main Street is just about 2 blocks up. And it has been relentless. This is what you call raining snow. I don't know any other way to describe it. I mean, and not only that, we've had thunder snow last night that was on the order I think I counted 15 lightning strikes. 15 lightning strikes. Just absolutely wild. We want to bring in the New York governor, Kathy Hochul. She's joined us by phone. And Governor, you know, you're a Buffalo native. What stands out about this storm?
Well, as you mentioned, the thunder and lightning strikes are quite extraordinary. The volume is higher than a normal Buffalo snowstorm. It's not something we haven't handled before, but you know, we're expecting in my hometown of Hamburg and Orchard Park, where the Buffalo Bills play, we're expecting to have 5 to 6 feet of snow accumulated by Saturday evening there. So it's a lot, even for a Buffalonian. It's a lot to comprehend here. But you know, what we did because of this experience and having lived through so many of these, we were really smart about pre-positioning vehicles. Our utility crews have been very quick about restoring power. The snow plows are out in force through the night. And also having the driving vans and the commercial vehicle vans on our major roads has made a huge difference. So there's no one stranded. We've been able to take care of the disabled vehicles very quickly. And so we're in a good place now, but as we don't spike the football until we get through the whole event.
That's wise words. You know, I was looking at the Google Maps, and there's just a lot of closed roads out there. Going into this afternoon, this evening, and overnight tonight, what advice do you have for residents and people who may be visiting here from out of town?
No, absolutely stay off the roads, because the reason we're getting through this safely with minimal impact on our highways being jammed up, and we've had before, is if one jackknife truck can paralyze an entire thruway or major arterial, and we don't have that right now because we've been so good about keeping people off the roads. And I want people to continue doing that. They did a great job overnight. It allowed our salting crews to get out there, the plows. So that's why we're surviving this right now, is because of the cooperation of Western New Yorkers. I need them to continue that, even if it looks like there's a lull. Right now there's a lull over the city of Buffalo, but we know the bands are moving northward from the south, and they'll be hitting Buffalo this afternoon again. So don't take comfort in the fact that you see a clear sky right now, because this event is nowhere near over yet.
And I got to imagine, you know, a lot of people were upset of moving the Bills game to Detroit, but it's all out of safety, just preventing, you know, hundreds and thousands of people, of additional people from around the country coming into this area and then finding themselves stranded and stuck.
It is hard for all of us Buffalo Bills fans to have to watch a home game in Detroit, no doubt about it. But if you look at the pictures that you've been showing, you know, that stadium, it's hard to imagine that the roads would be cleared and the seats would be cleared and there could actually be a field that is visible by this time, you know, kickoff on Sunday at 1 o'clock. So that was a decision by the NFL, but it seems like, in retrospect, a smart decision, because this event is not abating. And the snow is continuing, and especially in that the snow belt, which is right where the stadium is in Orchard Park. And I grew up literally minutes from there, so I'm well familiar with the roads in that area, and they can be really treacherous, dangerous for people to travel on. So we'll have to take the win from the road and and wait for the next home game.
And how long do you think it may take to really get this city kind of back up and running and kind of business as usual? Would you say really after the weekend, we're looking at early next week?
Yes. You know, we are very quick about getting businesses back. People are ready to come back to their jobs. I mean, today was a good day. Remote work has been a blessing, and allowing people to stay connected to their offices because of what we went through during the pandemic. So there are some, enhancements now that we didn't have before. People can stay, working throughout the day without losing a day of income, which is important. So our businesses will be back, I think even later Sunday, but I'm not going to say with certainty. It depends on how we do clearing the roads. If people stay off the roads, it is so easy for us to clear them. If the roads are jammed up with motorists, once the roads reopen, it's going to be a lot harder for us. So that's the patience we're asking for all of the residents. And again, I became a lieutenant governor exactly 8 years ago this week when we were slammed with the 7-foot snow event. And it's something that's quite extraordinary even for local residents, but we're very good about bouncing back very quickly. It's important. It's important to get, the economic engine going, get people back to the pizzerias and the grocery stores and the little businesses that are suffering with the closures today. So we'll be back just literally in a matter of days.
All right. Appreciate your time and appreciate the update to New York Governor Kathy Hochul. Thank you so much for the update here as far as conditions go for locals across Western New York, where, you know, it's crazy how things can vary, because it was, as I mentioned, before we got here to East Aurora, the sun was out and it was blue sky. So, Dr. Knabb, I got to say, we didn't catch any thunder snow on camera, unfortunately, but it was the wildest thing. It wasn't just one strike. And I'm not talking about the lightning and then you don't really hear the thunder. I'm talking about these cracks and booms like you get in a thunderstorm. We had that in a snowstorm. It was the wild, and multiple times a minute at times, where you would see the flash and instantly you would have that lightning. And enough to remind you, yeah, thunder snow is just as dangerous as real, thunderstorm lightning you get in the summer, even though it's just hard to get your senses to kind of grasp that phenomenon.
Yeah, it's not every snowstorm that we talk about one of the hazards being lightning, and it is just as dangerous in a snowstorm as it would be in any other kind of storm. Now, I wanted to show you why that happened. I've got a long radar loop to show you all the way back to last night to show you what caused this. And one of the general reasons is, yes, we have cold air going over relatively warm water of the lakes, and this is a multi-day event because big low over eastern Canada is going to continue to push westerly winds across the lakes and multiple disturbances. And right now we've got the banding set up over the entire 250-mile fetch of Lake Erie, and the winds at the surface are converging on the lake because of the acceleration here and the slowdown here. And you get some rotations there, and then the convergence once it gets to the other side of the lake, and the winds a few thousand feet up are going the same direction. So it's aligning things in bands. But I wanted to show you, this is just a few-hour loop, but I wanted to show you the 24-hour loop. Okay, this goes back to yesterday, and then look at this mesoscale low going across, boom, bunch of lightning, and then when that low got to Buffalo, a big crack of lightning, big outbreak of lightning, and then look at this. You've had lightning happening in just about the same spot right on the shore of Buffalo over and over again, because when the convergence happens, when it hits land, you get more upward motion, and it's already unstable, and that's why those really strong updrafts cause lightning in a snowstorm.
Well, heard my baby sister's buying a car. You'll need my secret weapon.
Gross, no. Anyway, I already used Capital One Auto Navigator. Found my car online and got pre-qualified instantly.
That's pretty cool.
What's in your wallet?
First psoriasis, then psoriatic arthritis.
Even walking was tough.
I had to do something. I started Cosentix.
Cosentix can help you move, look, and feel better by treating the multiple symptoms of psoriatic arthritis. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Watch me.
Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
Hey, Peloton, step into your power. Let's go.
You didn't come to work out. You came to outwork. Let's get it.
Yo. Boom.
Come on, you got this.
Everyday man's on the
block. No challenge, no change.
The ting goes.
Let's go.
Get up to $300 off accessories. Terms apply.
You'll always remember buying your first car and buying your starter home, or whatever this is. But the things that last a lifetime, like happiness, love, and confidence, you can't buy those, but you can invest in them. We believe that your investments should work harder for the future you imagine. And that's where our strategic investing approach can help. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
We've got questions about Medicare plans.
Well, we've got a lot of answers. How can I help?
Well, for starters, do you have a Medicare plan I can actually afford?
How about a plan with a $0 monthly premium?
Well, that's a great start. What other benefits can we get?
Things like dental, vision, and hearing. But let me help you pick the plan that's right for you.
Ooh.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-65-AETNA to get answers to your questions and pick a plan that's right for you. And let's make healthier happen together.
This holiday, make no mistake, everything here is Philadelphia cheesecake.
everything. Make your own.
First thing that morning, I woke up and saw that things were not good.
And I thought, well, this is where I'm going to die.
If you, like many people, are covered by both Medicare and your state's Medicaid, here's something important to know. Medicare annual enrollment is here and ends December 7th. So now's a great time to look at a UnitedHealthcare Dual Complete plan. It could give you even more health benefits than you already have. Call now to see if you're eligible. Medicaid gives you benefits, and Medicare gives you some too. But a UnitedHealthcare Dual Complete plan can add even more benefits and features compared to original Medicare. Like $0 copays on all covered prescriptions, more dental coverage too. Most plans even give you up to $300 a month to help pay for covered over-the-counter products, groceries, and new this year, utility bills, all at no extra cost to you. Hurry, annual enrollment ends December 7th. So if you have Medicare and Medicaid, call now to see if you're eligible. There's more for you with a UnitedHealthcare Dual Complete plan.
For your local on the 8th, brought to you by Boost. Get the right nutrition, get more out of life.
Age is just a number, and mine's unlisted.
Try Boost High Protein with 20 grams of protein for muscle health versus 16 grams in Ensure High Protein. Boost High Protein also has key nutrients for immune support. Boost High Protein.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 Pro for free, plus get Pixel Watch, Pixel Buds, and more.
A freeze warning is in effect. Currently in our area, 44 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, partly cloudy, high 44. Winds west-southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, low 32. Chance of rain 50%. Saturday, a mainly sunny sky, high 41. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's a pivotal moment for our planet. COP27, the United Nations Climate Change Conference. Climate negotiations are on, and the stakes have never been higher. Watch the Weather Channel for COP27 updates throughout the day, or dive even deeper on the Pattern Channel with comprehensive coverage and a daily recap at 8 Eastern. COP27, get complete coverage starting now on the Weather Channel and Pattern.
The sounds of the season, right, in Buffalo, New York, or at least the Buffalo area. This is Hamburg, off to the south of Buffalo. You can hear the wind-blown snow. You can hear the snow blowers. Everything was starting dark and early, right? You got to get out there and do this in shifts. You cannot leave this till the end, or it's going to be a whole lot of work. That snow blowing sideways at times, at other times, barely anything visible in front of you. Here you can see visibility, a couple hundred yards at best, but it was a tough morning. Luckily, Dr. Knapp, I think a lot of folks were able to work from home. The schools are closed today, so that's kept people off the road so the plows can get out there and do their due diligence.
Yeah, and one important message to get across is there could be lulls and then really intense resurgences of heavy snow in places like Buffalo over the next couple of days. So really don't want you to get out and think that things are getting back to normal during one of these lulls, because then we're going to have more of these really nasty lake effect snow bands like we've seen over the last 24 hours. And right now, again, in Buffalo, the temperatures are right near freezing because of the relative warmth of the lakes, but cold enough to produce a lot of snow. And mostly we're getting the snow band setting up just south of downtown Buffalo in the airport, in the south towns. But that will be changing, but we'll have ebbs and flows. When it's all said and done through Sunday, another foot plus in that general area downwind from Lake Erie. But it won't be snowing all the time, and it will be heavier at times than others. Now, part of what's going on here is we've got a low, a short wave coming through in the front, then there's another low up in here and another front. So those two systems riding along in this broader area of low pressure over Canada are going to kind of dictate how things change. You can even see these disturbances riding along in this general troughing. And watch the timing here in Buffalo. So we might have a lull this afternoon and evening, and then another overnight long significant burst, and then maybe during the afternoon tomorrow, maybe another lull, and then tomorrow night, perhaps another last big burst, into Sunday morning. And that's, what's going to really pile things up for the storm total over what will end up being a 4-day event. But watch how this plays out in the Euro's eye. So you see those two disturbances and a gap in between. And then look how, when we get to tonight, with the departure of that lead disturbance, things start to bend a little bit more toward Buffalo again. So that's why late tonight you could have a burst. And then as this next disturbance approaches, it sharpens the shape of the flow like this. And maybe it's not aimed in Buffalo anymore during the afternoon tomorrow. But then as the disturbance passes, then the winds come back in the direction that maximizes the snow in Buffalo overnight tomorrow night. And then the whole thing is out of here. So that's why we're going to have ebbs and flows in the snow. And with that second disturbance coming in, Alex, the one that's over North Dakota right now, when that comes in, you're going to have lake effect plus the low pressure bringing the heavy snow to the lower peninsula of Michigan, off Lake Michigan as well.
Yeah, a lot going on. Dr. Knapp, we just got a new update. I want to see your reaction. While you were on, we got new updates from Orchard Park and from near Blaisdell. 42 inches. 42 inches of snow already.
Right, that's 1, 2, 3.5 feet. And I just showed we have another 1.5 feet or so to go.
Yeah.
So this 5-foot forecast, we're well on our way.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We are on track. Those lakes are like putting on a clinic. How to do lake effect snow today. This is impressive. Let's look beyond, the here and now. What are we going to see moving forward in Buffalo? Well, obviously in the short term, Dr. Knapp has pointed out, we've got the lake effect continuing. So snow into our Saturday, but I want you to also peek at those temperatures. 29, as good as it gets tomorrow. 25 on Sunday. We shut off the snow for the end of the weekend. We're going to keep the wind around. So keep in mind, that's going to blow the snow around a little bit. And then the wind sticks with us on Monday. So Monday, warmer, still sub 40. And with the wind, it's going to be uncomfortable. Then mostly cloudy skies, at least some sunshine starting to really peak out, and temperatures staying right around that 40-degree mark by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So the cold, that's going to be with us. And even the areas that are not getting in on the big snow, you're feeling the chill. We look at temperatures right now, 19 in Minneapolis, 49 in Washington, D.C., and back into the west. Look at these wind chill values, single digits above and below zero, all the way down to St. Louis. Your feels like temperature right now, 20 degrees. Moving through the rest of today and tonight, those wind chill values remain brutal across the northern tier.
Did you grow up or spend time at Camp Lejeune as a child?
If you were a child on the base while your parents lived or worked there, call White Hart Legal now. The water at Camp Lejeune was contaminated for over 3 decades, and many families have experienced serious health issues. If this happened to your family, you may be entitled to a share of the billions of dollars made available by the Camp Lejeune Justice Act.
Call 1-800-225-9200. That's 1-800-225-9200.
Order up. Ticket. Next. Order up. Go. Next in line. Watch the flames.
Yeah, I am stressed, Fitbit. Breathe. Listen to your body. Feel your power. Fitbit by Google.
Oh, hey, it's a Donovan's. Legend has it, the Donovans had a barbecue that fed half a town.
You know what I heard? They drove cross country just to walk their dog.
Apparently, they climbed a mountain to save some wild horses. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Toyota, let's go places.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Winter is coming and Medicare is providing up to 8 at-home COVID-19 tests at absolutely no cost to you. Call 800-398-3143 to get your free COVID-19 test delivered to your home at absolutely no cost to you. That's right, get up to 8 at-home COVID-19 rapid antigen tests delivered directly to your home for absolutely no cost, including free shipping. Just call 800-398-3143 now. Don't get caught without your no-cost at-home COVID tests when you need them the most. Again, if you're on Medicare, call 800-398-3143 now to get your COVID-19 test delivered right to your door at absolutely no cost to you. Just call 800-398-3143 or visit mytestkit.com. This Medicare-approved program gives everyone on Medicare access to request at-home COVID-19 tests at no cost. If you're on Medicare, call 800-398-3143 right now for your COVID-19 test delivered to your home every month upon request at absolutely no cost to you, including free shipping. Call 800-398-3143.
I can't. My toes.
Turns out, it is hard walking a mile in someone else's shoes.
And it turns out the General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. I gotta go. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Kevin, where are you?
Kevin! Hey, what's going on? I'm right here. I was busy cash backing for the holidays with Chase Freedom Unlimited. You know, I can't believe you lost another Kevin.
It's a holiday tradition.
Earn big time with Chase Freedom Unlimited. How do you cash back? Chase, make more of what's yours.
I have, over my 30 years, seen many patients who have excessive sweating. I recommend Carpe. It's a game changer.
Carpe is up to 3 times stronger than a regular strength antiperspirant. Try it today at mycarpe.com with limited time free shipping.
This city is magical. This is where you buy your tree present. Oh, look, there's a bee. It's impossible to leave Chicago hungry.
Attention passengers, if you look out your windows, you'll see a magnificent tree in a glorious world of holiday joy.
Happy holidays from the middle of everything. Son up a snickerdoodle.
This holiday season, save big on all the gifts you need for the gifts that keep on giving. Because while they have no idea what's going on here, a little something of their own will get them in the spirit. They don't know why you'd ever leave the house like this, but they'll happily hold down the fort while you're gone.
Smile.
And let's be honest, they'll never understand this whole situation. But they do get this. Thank goodness. Great prices, happy pets, Chewy.
Welcome back into Weather Underground. We've got an update for you. Dr. Nab, these numbers are wild.
42 and a half.
Just for good measure.
A half inch is a lot of snow to me, but I honestly cannot fathom. I've seen the images. Chris Bruin is there.
Yeah.
But I still can't fathom actually being where there's 3+ feet of snow.
Right. I mean, it has been. And it's not over, as you pointed out. A place like Blaisdell, Orchard Park, you've got 3.5 feet and more on the way, maybe another 1.5 feet. So that 5 to 6 foot total, very attainable here.
Yeah, and so as the governor said a little bit ago, we got to be safe for another couple days. Take it easy. Things will get back to normal early next week, but you want to make good decisions because otherwise you could put yourself in a life-threatening situation if you get out on the roads and get in trouble.
Yeah, you know, the good thing about snow events versus hurricanes, tornadoes, if you're in your house, you're truly safe. You
Absolutely.
know? Hang out, have a lazy day. And with this being such a historic lake effect event, we had to send our guy there. We've got some views for you. This is obviously the long shot of Buffalo. You're looking out over the lake. And we, of course, have that lake effect band moving in, obscuring the city building.
And it's a good thing we sent one of our taller on-camera meteorologists because at some point, Chris Bruin, that snow, what might end up being as deep as you are tall.
Yeah, you know, right now, I was talking to just a couple of the locals. Mark, if you could do me a favor, let's pan around this way. I want to show you what it looks like down the street, because the best way to get around is by walking. Do you see the guy walking there? This is just like that classic winter storm shot. And if we zoom in, you can barely make him out. Visibility is so low. There he is. You see that little speck of black? That is somebody walking down the street. And it's just, the visibility is that low. But I want to show you just how deep some of these snow piles are and just how wild. I mean, okay, so imagine if you didn't shovel your street, but this was, let's say I had to go inside the house. I mean, this is the plowed snow, so these are going to be a little bit higher. But here you go. I mean, we're talking certainly up to my knee, and then there's probably a good couple of inches that's just solid packed snow. And since the plows have come through, we've seen snow accumulating too on the roads. It accumulates so quickly. It really is hard to keep up with. I mean, you look at this. Since the plow came through probably a little over an hour ago, that's at least 2, maybe 2.5, 3 inches. So we've seen about 1.5 to maybe 2.5 inches per hour snowfall rates, and we're still in that sweet spot. And it's just, I mean, it's just a spectacle. Unless you've actually been in lake effect snow or you've been on top of a 10,000 foot peak in the Rockies, you really just can't imagine what this much snow looks like, or the impact it has. I mean, everything's encased. Look at the power lines. Now, we have heard there's been some power outages, but overall, I think we're faring okay. But especially as the snow piles up, notice how it sticks and sags, okay? It can cause some power outages. Maybe not so much the weight of the snow on the power lines, because a lot of them are going to fall. It would be the trees. And we've noticed a few branches just sagging because of the weight of the snow. But look, I mean, just look at all the trees. Every single branch is pancaked in snow. I have to wipe the snow off of my iPad so I can see what you're looking at. But it's just snowing so much. Now, this gives you an idea of visibility. We're a block from the street, and you can barely make out the street light there. So we're probably, you know, a block, 2 blocks of visibility right now. The snow is continuing to fall at a steady rate. You know, back in Snowvember, they saw close to 9 feet of snow here in East Aurora. So that was in 2014, the big snowstorm. You know, Dr. Knapp, I don't think we're going to get quite to 9 feet, but I don't think we're anywhere near done. So I wouldn't be surprised to at least add another one.
Well, it looks like we lost a signal from Chris Broom, but we get the picture that it's amazing how much has fallen. But given what we're forecasting between now and the end of the event, by the end of Sunday, 4 or 5 feet plus, not out of the question. And that's why, if you look at the next 7 days, it takes us to Thanksgiving and the Friday after, this is mostly over the weekend here. And then we have some wet weather that could be getting into the eastern part of the U.S. around Thanksgiving, and then maybe the Friday afterwards. So in general, except for up in the Great Lakes, most of you should have a pretty good time traveling between now and next Tuesday and Wednesday. But after Thanksgiving, that's when things are still uncertain. You're going to stay with the Weather Channel during the next week for updates.
No como tú te puso fantasma, solo dices boo. Desaparezco. Está muy fuerte como.
The first ever all-electric Chevy Silverado RST with a multi-flex midgate for extra storage. And an available 400 miles of range on a full charge. EVs for everyone, everywhere. Chevrolet.
Hi, my name is Tony Cooper, and I'm going to tell you about exciting Medicare Advantage plans that can provide broad coverage and still may save you money on monthly premiums and prescription drugs. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits, but you have to meet a deductible for each, and then you're still responsible for 20% of the cost. Next, let's look at a Medicare supplement plan. As you can see, they cover the same things as Original Medicare, and they also cover your Medicare deductibles and coinsurance. But they often have higher monthly premiums and no prescription drug coverage. Now, let's take a look at Humana's Medicare Advantage plans. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, hospital stays, doctor office visits, and your Original Medicare deductibles are covered. And of course, most Humana Medicare Advantage plans include prescription drug coverage, with no copays or deductibles on Tier 1 prescriptions, and $0 for routine vaccines, including shingles, at in-network retail pharmacies. In fact, in 2021, Humana Medicare Advantage prescription drug plan members saved an estimated $9,600 on average on their prescription costs. Most Humana Medicare Advantage plans have coverage for vision and hearing, and dental coverage that includes 2 free cleanings a year, plus dentures, crowns, fillings, and more. And most plans include a Silver Sneakers fitness program at no extra cost. You get all of this for as low as a $0 monthly plan premium in many areas. And your doctor and hospital may already be a part of Humana's large network. There is no obligation, so call the number on your screen right now to see if your doctor is in our network, to find out if you could save on your prescriptions, and to get our free decision guide. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
At Honda, we know you have to drive through the mud if you want to reach the rainbow. Brave the desert before you find the oasis. Conquer the mountain to see how far your dreams can take you. The all-new CR-V and CR-V Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
Touching the stars.
Oh, hey there, darling, let me count on you. The road is long and I'm scared what I might find. I'll be safe by my side, ain't nothing out there can take it stride. I know, you hold me up, so I can fly.
I dip when the mood don't feel right. I change like the colors of a sunrise. Not scared of the dark, I'm a highlight. I do what I want to.
Limited edition fragrance, only by Glade. SC Johnson.
Well, a man vanishes without a trace during a bitterly cold snap in Texas. But it isn't until the body is found preserved in cold water that detectives realize the weather may not have been against them all along. Don't miss an all-new Storm of Suspicion coming up next Tuesday.
A beloved father and military man vanishes without a trace.
He left his car keys. He left his wallet. He left his cell phone.
After a few days, we just kind of went into panic. Like, this is not like him.
As multiple agencies join forces to find him, they must contend with a cold snap that threatens to derail their entire case.
A lot of people think Texas is scorching hot all the time, and that's simply not the case.
It gets real cold, and it gets down below freezing at night.
In the end, could the winter weather hold the key to unlocking this mystery?
The weather really plays a larger role than most people think.
That is Storm of Suspicion. 3 all-new episodes coming up Tuesday, starting at 8/7 Central. Dr. Knapp?
Wow, just feet of snow. Brand new video. This is in Watertown, New York, and there's more where this came from. My goodness. When you say, oh, how much snow did you get? 3 or 4 feet. It's amazing that we're not talking inches, we're talking feet. And there is so much more to come. And look how much it drifts.
Like it. Yeah.
Oh, the dogs will always love it, don't they? But my little dogs, they get lost under the feet of snow.
No, mine don't like it. Bigger dogs, they like it. And some small ones, they like to get like the snow zoomies.
Right.
This guy's like, I would get the zoomies, but like I feel like my legs are a little short, the snow's a little high.
Yeah, these dogs are smart though, like about time somebody plowed this sidewalk.
Right? Yeah, if I need to use the bathroom, Mom, get out there and shovel. Yeah, well, the option is you shovel the path for them or they find that spot in the house. And you're like, hey, wait a second.
But just the volume of snow that has to be removed is mind-boggling. And like we've been talking about, got to get ahead of the game any chance you get during the lulls to keep up, because there's more where that came from. And we've got all kinds of warnings. And again, winter warnings are because they're life-threatening situations if we're not smart about it. So the lake effect snow warning, we've got the winter storm warning there on the east shores of Lake Michigan. And a lot of places have a lot more snow to go. And it's not just going to be inches, this could be 1 or 2 feet locally in some spots. And, don't sleep on the relatively heavy snows that we could get there in the lower peninsula of Michigan as this next disturbance slides on through. So it's going to be multiple episodes coming through this overall setup of pushing those cold westerly winds over the relatively warm lakes. And so we've got one disturbance here, we got another one here, and this southern and eastern disturbance has a front attached to it that's bringing some heavy snows into western PA. So it's not just the direct lake effect. In fact, look at all of these snow squall warnings that we've got going on. Got to mention this again, just east of Pittsburgh, in Armstrong, Indiana, Westmoreland counties. This is until 2:45. Again, very rapid deteriorations in visibility, not unlike what can happen when you drive perpendicularly through a lake effect snowband, which I hope you're not doing. And it's amazing too how these temperatures are right around freezing, maybe slightly above, but the surface temperature doesn't have to be below freezing to have the snowfall, because the water's in the 50s, but the air is so much colder, and that's why we are bringing so much warmth and moisture and so much convergence downstream of these lakes. Alex, we know the hot spots, and the Tug Hill Plateau and the Buffalo area are just two of them.
Yeah, and Buffalo a little later in the season, they're going to shut things off, because once Lake Erie freezes over, you obviously shut off the lake effect. So they're like, okay, we might be okay with that. Right now, they're going to lead the pack in the Golden Snowball, that the battle between Buffalo and Rochester, and I think it's Syracuse, Binghamton, Watertown, between who gets the most snow there in New York State. Buffalo always leads the pack off the start, and then Syracuse, they'll pick things up a little bit later in the season. But Blaisdell now, 4 feet of snow. So we've got a new update there. You have picked up 48 inches of snow, with more on the way, as Dr. Knapp just said. Orchard Park, 42.5. And by the way, this virtual view looks a lot like what it looks like out your window. You're like, yep, that's pretty dead on. Hamburg, 37 inches, 3 feet in Seneca, and in Boston, over 30 inches of snow. We have alerts out. The lake effect snow warnings obviously continue, with winter weather advisories back into northern sections of western New York. So right up against Lake Ontario, obviously south of there, we've got the lake effect snow warnings, and then the winter storm watches into parts of northwest PA and northeast Ohio. Look at that snow, fast and furious. It's coming down. You can barely see anything in front of you in that deepest shade of blue. And as Dr. Knapp pointed out, we've got that convergence, so everything coming together, that helps to provide more lift. You've got those areas around, and especially south of Buffalo, they are just in the thick of it. And lake effect is a smaller scale thing. So you had a little north, Niagara Falls, nothing. You had a little south, nothing. It truly is a local, smaller scale event, with some bands and bursts of snow working down into Pennsylvania as well, causing problems on the roads there. Here's how much more snow is still to come. Again, 1 foot to 1.5 feet still possible there in western New York.
Being a first-time parent is hard, but then learning that your child has cancer is unbelievably hard.
That's not something that we woke up that morning planning to hear. Just hearing that she had cancer, it breaks you.
Eliza's diagnosed with bilateral retinoblastoma at 4 months. It's cancer of the eyes. It's aggressive and it's fast growing. And as a mom hearing that, I still cry, because, you want to take away all of the pain, and you don't want your kid to be sick, obviously.
You kind of get tossed in the fire and you have to figure certain things out. And with what we've been going through, I don't know how we would have made it without St. Jude.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital works day after day to find cures and save the lives of children with cancer and other life-threatening diseases.
Hey, Pumpkin.
We did not receive any bills from St. Jude.
Oh,
and that is, it's a huge weight lifted off. We only have to worry about Eliza. We are so thankful that there are people out there who care and who give to St. Jude so that we can care for our baby girl.
You can join the battle to save lives by supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Join with your debit or credit card right now, and we'll send you this St. Jude t-shirt that you can proudly wear to show your support.
St. Jude has given us hope. The people that donate money each and every month to St. Jude, it's all because of them.
You can make a difference. Please become a St. Jude Partner in Hope right now.
You'll always remember buying your first car and buying your starter home, or whatever this is. But the things that last a lifetime, like happiness, love, and confidence, you can't buy those, but you can invest in them. We believe that your investments should work harder for the future you imagine. And that's where our strategic investing approach can help. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
The future of connectivity is here, where the flexibility and ease of mobile works hand in hand with the reliability, security, and speed of the internet. One unified network that moves information at unimaginable speeds and works like a shield to block threats before they ever get to you. That's powerful enough to run smart cities, yet simple enough to manage all the things that matter to you. This is Spectrum One. Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile working together as one to give you more speed, more reliability, and more security. That's seamless connectivity. That's Spectrum One.
I travel the world to carve a path for those who aren't afraid to get a little bit dirty.
That is the craziest thing I have ever done in my life.
Let's go on an uncharted adventure.
A freeze warning is in effect. Currently in our area, 44 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, partly cloudy, high 44. Winds west-southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, low 32. Chance of rain 50%. Saturday, a mainly sunny sky, high 41. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome into Weather Underground. Of course, continuing live coverage here of this lake effect snow event across western New York. It's not just Lake Erie, but also Lake Ontario up near Watertown and certainly up into points north of there and way upstate New York. We've had some significant snowfall there as well, but the highest totals certainly are going to be across those south towns outside of the Buffalo metro area. We're in East Aurora, and man, the snow has just picked up in the last 10 minutes. I mean, it just got dark all of a sudden, it seems like, and visibility has gone down. Before we were able to see a couple of blocks in each direction, I can't even make out the street light now, and that's only a block away. And I don't know if it makes out, but there's a home right here. You just see on top of the roof the weight at which this snow kind of piles up. And then there's a lamp, front lamp up at the entrance to the sidewalk where you take the steps, and the snow is just piled like nearly 2 feet high on top of that. Look at the weight at the trees. I mean, I don't know if that's a tree or a bush. Actually, it looks like one of these trees. These are cranberry trees. They're beautiful, but look at the weight at which the snow brings these down. So at times, the weight of the snow may actually cause some branches and things to fall. Now, these aren't going to cause issues because the power lines are above them, but if that does fall on a power line, there could be the risk for power outages. And just look at the way it just collects. It's a very moisture-rich snow from the Great Lakes, right? That's what we call lake effect snow. And this is East Aurora. They picked up nearly 9 feet of snow in 2014. That's the historic storm that just stopped everybody dead in their tracks, essentially, here across western New York. That's the one that they really kind of live up to. Buffalo was hit even harder, the city proper, back in 2000. So we've had some notorious storms, and this is going to be one of those up there, all right? We may not get 9 feet here, but we're not anywhere done with the snow. This is going to continue. In fact, it may get heavier. These are some massive flakes right now. This is the kind of snow that accumulates so quickly. Because, I mean, if I just hold this here, the top of my iPad, I mean, it just completely gets snow covered within 1-2 minutes, and you gotta kind of wipe it off. These flakes are so big. Temperatures are below freezing, so everything's just kind of sticking around, and you gotta keep up with it, because trying to shovel now, if you haven't gotten out and done it, we've talked to locals here, they've been shoveling since 6 a.m. this morning, and you really have to keep up with it. I know it's not necessarily what you want to do and spend your time doing, but especially since things are pretty much shut down, it gives you the time to kind of keep up with the sidewalks, your driveway, getting your cars out. Otherwise, trying to dig out from these things, it's hard to know where things are. And we're not done with the snow. I'm trying to describe it. It's so pretty. It really is. It's hard to believe Thanksgiving less than a week away. And I'm looking at these trees, and it's very festive. The snow will be here for Thanksgiving, but thankfully it was this week and not next week when a lot of people are going to be traveling. But travel right now, it's a mess, just because so many roads are closed, and they do that for good reason, because having the traffic off the roads is what allows the plows to get out there and keep the roads as good as they are. I will say, our drive from Buffalo this morning, it was treacherous, but there were so few people out. We were able to get behind a plow and kind of just ride their cleared spot all the way down. We had to avoid all the big expressways. They were all shut down, and we were just coasting 10 miles per hour. It was very scenic. Just taking it slow and getting here, and then our car got stuck in the parking lot. Had to dig it out. But at least it was at the parking lot, not like halfway between here and Buffalo, because that could have been the case.
Yeah, no, that's true. But you mentioned the plows. They're out there. Those guys and girls are working hard. I mean, I would imagine you saw tons of plows, right?
Oh, more than tons. I mean, you see 3 or 4 in one direction, and you got 2 or 3 lined up behind you and in front of you. So they are out. And you got people kind of throwing on a plow in their truck and kind of taking care of some of the residential streets that are always the last to get to. That was the thing I noticed. I mean, there were streets you literally could not turn down, because if you did, you were instantly going to be stuck.
Yeah, they're a well-oiled machine. Chris, about the leaves, there's not really many leaves on the trees. We talked to National Weather Service Buffalo. They said they weren't super concerned about limbs coming down. Now, those look a little weighted, but again, not much leaf coverage left.
It's a good point you bring up. Fall was beautiful, but we don't have a lot of leaves, Alex. So most trees, they're bare, and it looks like the heart of winter right now.
Yeah, like you said, it's beginning to feel a lot like the holidays. Maybe not as much, but you pour a little hot gravy on that, and it's all good. Look at that scene of Chris Bruin there, man. He's having a good time. Hey, we've got much more. Chris, are you in there? Chris.
Oh, yeah, I'm there.
I love it. We're going to get back to Chris coming up.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 Pro for free, plus get Pixel Watch, Pixel Buds, and more.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Liberty Mutual. They customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Contestants ready? Go! No! Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We've got questions about Medicare plans.
Well, we've got a lot of answers. How can I help?
Well, for starters, do you have a Medicare plan I can actually afford?
How about a plan with a $0 monthly premium?
Well, that's a great start. What other benefits can we get?
Things like dental, vision, and hearing. But let me help you pick the plan that's right for you.
Ooh.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-65-AETNA to get answers to your questions and pick a plan that's right for you. And let's make healthier happen together.
Did you grow up or spend time at Camp Lejeune as a child?
If you were a child on the base while your parents lived or worked there, call White Hart Legal now. The water at Camp Lejeune was contaminated for over 3 decades, and many families have experienced serious health issues. If this happened to your family, you may be entitled to a share of the billions of dollars made available by the Camp Lejeune Justice Act.
Call 1-800-225-9200. That's 1-800-225-9200.
Sure, I've got to entertain
dinner tonight for the whole family. But I've got Harry and David, so I'm not stressing. I'm slaying the holidays. Harry and David makes entertaining a breeze, because their prepared meals are delicious and ready in no time. Spread joy this year with Harry and David.
With Sonic's 2 for $5 menu, you get 2 delicious things for only $5, which is helpful if you struggle with decision making. The Sonic 2 for $5 menu.
Sonic. Thank you, Nature Made, for seeing that life is a little chaotic and creating new targeted blends to help. So when our sleep, stress, and immune health are thrown off, new Nature Made Well blends can help us find balance.
CarMax is reimagining car buying for you, so you can buy online or on the lot. Then get it delivered right to your door. That's car buying reimagined. CarMax.
Looking for something like this?
Superheroes are everywhere, in our movies, communities, and running our small businesses. And they can grow online securely with MasterCard tools, extending their reach far beyond the storefront. Because when you see the superhero you can be, that's priceless. MasterCard is proud to support Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
I can do this.
Luxury that lets you feel infinitely you.
Extra hard studying calls for something extra. So you serve up new DiGiorno fully stuffed crust pizza. Because pizza with an extra layer of cheese stuffed edge to edge throughout the entire crust always hits the spot. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Right now, a historic lake-effect snowstorm absolutely clobbering western and north country New York, with snow stacking up in feet rather than inches. The event not over yet. We got a long ways to go. You're watching Weather Underground. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Dr. Rick Knabb. Travel really has been crippled in this part of the world, both on the roads and in the air. And yes, conditions continue to get worse.
We're going to give you some of the sights and the sounds live with Chris Bruin. But first, take a look at this. That is the sound of Cantori's ringtone and thundersnow. It has to be his ringtone, right?
You would think.
We have tons of action out there over the lake. So again, without the Great Lakes, we wouldn't get lake effect. They are truly bringing the weather, helping to create the weather here across western New York. This is in Hamburg.
Yeah, and it's not a coincidence that it's happening at this time of year. You know, that 2014 big event, also this time of year, because the lakes aren't frozen. In fact, they're warmer than average. So really pretty strong convection.
Yeah.
For a snowstorm.
Yeah, you know, the land warms and cools much more quickly than water. So we're still coming off the warmer months, and it takes some time before those lakes really get cold. So yeah, they're toasty.
And so it's not just a snowstorm. It's a snowstorm that has the calling card of really large flakes that pile up feet. How much snow did you get? 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah, not 3 or 4 inches. And this is your cross section, right? This is what you want to see. And you can see one guy's breaking it down while the other one comes behind and actually does the snow blowing, because you truly can't shovel that.
So this is some evil combination of snow shoveling and rock climbing.
Yes. No, it truly is. That's a good way to look at it. This is a true workout. And again, remember those friends, relatives, neighbors that you have who might need a little help with the shovel.
In all seriousness, it's not just being nice. You could actually save somebody's life by not having them, who might be in more vulnerable health, really overexert. And we've lost people that way in past snowstorms like this.
If you've got the snowblower in the neighborhood, lend it to everybody. Yeah. They will repay you in pizzas and bottles of wine, right?
Yes.
For just lending it. Let's take a peek at how much still left to come. You can see another 5 to 8, 8 to 12. 12 to 18 inches still yet to go.
And we've reached the 4-foot threshold in a couple spots. And could you get another couple of feet? Could you get a 6-pack?
Surely possible. Let's get you caught up on what we know right now. More than 100 flights, they've been canceled at Buffalo Niagara International. A state of emergency has been declared in Erie County, New York. And the NFL moved Sunday's Buffalo Bills-Cleveland Brown games from Buffalo to Detroit. Dr. Knabb, here is why. Ready? There it is. That's Highmark Stadium.
So even if people could safely travel to the game, and that would be unlikely.
Yeah.
But even if you were to make it, where would you sit? How would you remove all that snow from the parking lot in the stadium?
Yeah, it would be a very tough task. If there's any place that can do it, the Buffalo Bills, their crews, maybe Lambeau Field's crews could do it as well. But again, yeah, I think they're like, you know what, this is a little much for us. So we're going to take this to Detroit Ford Field this Sunday and give ourselves a little extra time to work on all of that snow at Highmark. We've got crews out there. Again, we've been showing you some of those views. Those are courtesy of the Buffalo Bills. But our guy, Chris Bruin, we'll get to him in just a minute. But I want to give you those updated totals. As Dr. Nab pointed out, some areas already at 4 feet. That's Blaisdell, New York, 48 inches thus far. You're still getting snow. We still have more snow tonight into tomorrow, at least through the first half of the day, watching for more in the way of accumulating snow. Orchard Park, 42.5 inches. Hamburg, 37 inches. Seneca, 36 inches of snow. This is a snow-savvy part of the country. Buffalo, Syracuse, these areas are used to lake effect snow, but man, this is pretty exceptional. We've got the lake effect snow warnings that continue not just for western New York, but also the North Country, Tug Hill Plateau areas, and then winter storm warnings off into western parts of lower Michigan. So driving conditions problematic there. Also down into Pennsylvania, we've seen snow squall warnings issued, even getting down closer to West Virginia and western Maryland. Big bursts of snow, reduced visibility, that could lead to very dangerous conditions on the roads. You can see some moderate to heavy snow across western and central Michigan, but of course, our eyes really go to those two main bands. One coming off of Lake Ontario. The other one, really the full fetch of Lake Erie, is in play. I mean, this thing is wide open still. There's a closer look at the snow squall warnings I was telling you about. So parts of central and southwestern Pennsylvania, including Cambria and Clearfield counties here under the warning. This is around and south of I-80. I-80 is not a road you want to be out on this afternoon. If you can delay travel, delay it. And if you get that alert when you're out in your car, say you're driving today and you get one of those alerts buzzing on the phone, if you're in a safe spot, pull over there and let that snow squall pass. You do not want to find yourself in the midst of it. Chris Bruin, our meteorologist, is up in East Aurora, New York. Chris, you know what it's like to be in those big bursts of snow. I mean, just a couple minutes ago, we could barely see you.
Yeah, and now it's lightened up a little bit and not as intense, but still some huge flakes. This is probably, an inch per hour type snowfall rate, but we've been getting into those 2-3 inch per hour snowfall rates, and they've been lasting for quite a while. Then the wind will blow and you'll get the visibility taken down, and it's just really been an interesting setup. Now, for those, here comes a good burst of wind. I'm looking down this way. I can't even see. So you get these gusts of wind. That was something that somebody was really shocked by. They say in true lake effects, you don't get a lot of wind, but that has not been the case with this event. Obviously, with the dynamics, the instability, all of the lightning, we've had gusts easily close to 40 miles per hour all night long in Buffalo, and that created whiteout conditions, which is why they issue those travel bans. They urge people to stay off the roads, and I'm amazed we've kind of avoided any major pileups, and it's those preemptive measures that certainly help keep those not a factor, and certainly allow those road crews, because that's when you run into issues, when you get these cars that are just stuck. Let's do a little show and tell. I want to, if you can, Mark, if you can kind of zoom out, and we'll just show from here, and we'll go on down, just showing you kind of just what it looks like, because you see these just amazing piles of snow. Obviously, the trees are encased, the power lines are encased. That's not going to cause the power lines to go down. The only issue we would lose power essentially would be if a branch were to fall and kind of lean on power lines or something like that. But look at the hotel signage here, the Roycroft Inn. This is where we're staying. You look at some of these, I don't know what that is. It's like a post, and just look at the way the snow just kind of piles up. This is what's so fascinating, because when you start to get into these, 3, 4, 5 inch snowstorms, you just get these wild sights that you just don't really get. All right. Now, I'm a tall guy, and we haven't seen any reports officially from East Aurora in a while. So this is not necessarily an official snow report, but we've got our handy dandy. This is a foldable 6-foot I guess, measuring device. I don't know what you would call it. We'll call it the Bruin snow meter, okay? So I want to show you just how big it is. It's almost as tall as me. I'm 6'5", so this is 6 feet, okay? And so each one of these, it can actually fold, which is why we got this, so that when you go on the airplane, you can bring it back home. So they can fold down like that. So just want to show you. So each fold is 6 inches, okay? So 2 of them is 1 foot. So we'll go over here, and I'm going to get a little closer to the camera so that way you can at least see it for yourself. So there's 1 foot, all right? There's 2 feet, and let's see where we're at. So there's 3 feet, over 3 feet. So we're getting close to 37 inches. And again, that's just one spot. You go into another spot, and you won't be able to see this as well. That's over 3 feet. So I would say we're easily in that 35 to 40-inch range here in East Aurora. I'll stick this over here so I don't have to hold on to all this stuff. But it gives you an idea. So we're easily in that 3-foot range, give or take a few inches, depending upon what part of town you're on. And East Aurora is a little bit higher in elevation than Buffalo. So this enhances the snowfall, which is why a lot of times it'll linger even more so, or the band will even get heavier as it approaches because it's getting that up slope. And we're not talking about mountains, okay? We're not talking about 1,000-foot elevation changes from the lakeshore to here. We're only talking about 200-300 feet. But that is enough with a low-level setup like lake effect snow to squeeze out even just more moisture. And in some cases, that means several more inches of snow than down at the lakeshore. So temperatures are well in that threshold to see more accumulating snow. We're going to get anywhere from 4 feet, perhaps up to 5 feet. Now, this will not be a record snow for East Aurora, and by a long shot. They would have to get nearly 9 feet or more to really exceed some of the past big snow events. But either way, this is a big storm. We were talking to some of the locals, and they were saying, you know, since the last 2 big snow events they've had here, they've had to reinforce their roof line with some knee pads so that it can handle even more weight. Because when you're dealing with a roof that has the weight of snow, I mean, look at this home across the street. Look at how much snow is on that front porch roof. It's just a flat roof, and there's a solid 3 feet or so of snow just sitting there. You know how much that weighs? I know we've done stuff on, I can't remember off the top of my head, but that is heavy. That is heavy, Dr. Nab, and that is a concern. Another concern that we may run into is as people are out here digging their snow from their sidewalks and driveways and trying to get their car out, people can have health issues, and it's really strenuous. So make sure you give yourself plenty of breaks. You do it properly. Don't try and just get in there and try and get it done as fast as you can. Know your body, trust your body, and don't push it, because I know in the last big snow events there were some deaths because of heart attacks happening as they're shoveling out that snow.
Yes, so if you are able to help your neighbor who you know might be more vulnerable than you are, this would be a really good way to help them out to get through this storm. And that, along with staying off the roads, are the most important things we can do. And it's always important to remember that when we see an observation from a city, it's usually at the airport, right? And the airport is off to the northeast of downtown, and they're reporting light snow, but Chris is down in here. So he's in the band, whereas the airport, not so much. It's all about where these narrow bands set up. And it's all coming right down the spine of Lake Erie into the areas mostly south of downtown Buffalo. But again, the angle of the band will change and go north and south over the next couple of days. We have to get all the way through Sunday for this entire event to end. And it's interesting, too, that Buffalo's got a lower temperature than some of the surrounding areas, partially perhaps because of the heavier snow coming down, bringing some of that colder air that's a few hundred feet, 1,000 feet up, down closer to the surface. Again, what's happening at the local scale has a lot to do with what's happening at the large scale. We've got an area of low pressure coming through the northern Great Lakes, and got higher pressure down to the south and west. And you'll notice that the bands are oriented kind of crossing the isobars. Low here, you'd think, well, don't the winds go parallel to the isobars? Well, not quite. At the surface, the friction causes the air to slow down, and then that makes it bend in toward the low pressure a little bit more. But then you add in the lake, and then that changes things, because over the lake you have less friction than you do over the land. So over the land, it's bending to the left, and over the lake, not so much, maybe even bend a little bit more to the right. And even over the lake, you get convergence before you get the convergence on land. And anytime you get surface convergence, that causes the air to pile up at the ground, and it has to go up. So we've got the unstable air, we've got all that convergence because of the land and lake effects, and then a few thousand feet up, the winds are going in the same direction as they are at the surface over the lake, so that aligns things, everything into these really, really narrow bands. And then, Alex, what happens on land has a lot to do with how much you have in terms of hills.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we've got the Tug Hill Plateau up there near Watertown, and especially to the south. That's where we get a little bit more enhancement, because you've got a little uplift happening as that air moves off the lake. You've got the plateau in the way, so you give it a little extra nudge up, and when you do that, you get a little bit more in the way of condensation precipitation. So still to come, some of those highest totals likely up towards the Watertown area with 1.5 to 2 feet additionally through Sunday. So the snow is going to continue tonight into tomorrow. I think for a lot of areas winding down later tomorrow. But Lake Ontario, now Lake Erie, that's a more shallow lake, so that'll usually shut off here by the time we get into January. When the lake freezes over, you shut off the lake effect coming off of Lake Erie. But Lake Ontario, a much deeper lake, so we keep this going later in the season. And that's why places like Watertown and Syracuse and Oswego pick up such huge snowfall totals, because they're going to be really open all season. But here in Lake Ontario, we've got the elevation just about 350 feet. But the air comes off that lake, then it rises here at the Tug Hill Plateau. That can get as high as 2,100 feet. So again, just a little bit more uplift can help to enhance our precip totals. And so you'll see higher amounts here where you've got that uplift. Think of like when we talk about the Sierra Nevada, the Appalachians. On the upslope side, that's where you get the enhancement to the rainfall or snowfall. On the downslope side, obviously, that's where you get the sinking air, and so less. So rising air will enhance our snowfall. Moisture from the lake, again, lifted in these areas, and these are the areas that I think will be the big winners when it comes to snow. And also the rates at times will be very heavy, similar to what we've seen already. Through this afternoon and tonight, you can see across North Country New York, that snow is coming down, and it's coming down hard. So between Watertown up towards the Potsdam area, you've got some. So up there at the SUNY campus, maybe getting in on some big bursts of snow. Buffalo, you've got more snow coming in later on Saturday into early Sunday. But watch as we get into Sunday, we're going to see that wind direction shift. So less Watertown, more down to Oswego and Syracuse for some of those snow showers. So the Cuse, you're going to get some. You're not the big winner out of this one. I'm sure your time will come later this season. But look at these totals near Watertown. Again, another 1.5 feet plus, I think up to 2 feet or even over in a few isolated spots. Certainly possible here yet to come into the weekend.
This the biggest bounce of the summer.
Hey, if you're coming and come down, play. If you feel too shy, then watch for me. Watch for me.
Shake it. This the biggest bounce of the summer. If you ain't coming, that's a bummer. Watch for me. This the biggest bounce of the summer.
Well. Heard my baby sister's buying a car. You'll need my secret weapon.
Gross. No. Anyway, I already used Capital One Auto Navigator. Found my car online and got pre-qualified instantly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
What's in your wallet?
At Honda, we know you have to drive through the mud if you want to reach the rainbow. Brave the desert before you find the oasis. Conquer the mountain to see how far your dreams can take you. The all-new CR-V and CR-V Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
The reason why Golo customers have such long-term success is because the Golo plan takes a holistic approach to weight loss. We focus on real foods in the right balance so you get the results you want. The Release supplement makes losing weight easy. Release sets you up for successful weight loss because it supports your blood sugar levels between meals so you aren't hungry or fatigued. Golo is real, our customers are real, and our success stories are real. We have a 98% satisfaction rating. Why not give it a try?
During fire pit season, we don't waste any time at all. When we get back together, it's like we never left. Maybe it's the way a crackling fire in a solo stove makes you feel. Or maybe it's that being together again feels like home. Either way, we know the best memories are made together. Save $10 using promo code TV10 at solostove.com.
Meet Leon the Third, Leon the Second, and Leon the First of them all. 3 generations who all bank differently with Chase. Leon's saving up for his first set of wheels. Nice try.
Really?
This Leon's paying for his paint job on the spot. And this Leon, as a Chase private client, he's in the south of France taking out cash with no ATM fees. That's because this family of Leons has Chase.
Actually, it's Leon.
Ooh la la. One bank for now, for later, for life. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Who wants burgers?
Ooh, it's the DQ Signature Stack Burgers menu. That is 5 tasty burgers right there. There goes a spicy flamethrower and loaded A1 Signature Stack Burgers.
Go, Mom?
You're still the cool mom.
Thank you.
DQ, happy tastes good.
First thing that morning, I woke up and saw that things were not good.
And I thought, well, this is where I'm going to die.
Hi, folks. It's the Medicare annual enrollment period, and this year it's simple. 1, before the deadline, call the number below. 2, check your zip code for a Medicare Advantage plan with prescriptions, dental care, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month. 3, you'll find out what you're eligible for. AEP has a deadline. Call now.
I called to find a plan that covers more of my dental expenses.
I call every year to make sure my doctor is still in my plan.
I called to find a plan with lower copays.
I called to see if my zip code has a plan with the benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I call every year.
Millions of people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline. You can too. Get what you deserve. AEP has a deadline, so don't delay. Call now.
Call 1-800-530-9947. That's 1-800-530-9947 now.
A freeze warning is in effect. Currently in our area, 44 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, a mix of rain and snow early. Low 32. Chance of precipitation 70%. Saturday, a mainly sunny sky. High 41. Saturday night, a few clouds overnight. Low 32. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's a pivotal moment for our planet. COP27, the United Nations Climate Change Conference. Climate negotiations are on, and the stakes have never been higher. Watch the Weather Channel for COP27 updates throughout the day, or dive even deeper on the Pattern Channel with comprehensive coverage and a daily recap at 8 Eastern. COP27, get complete coverage starting now on the Weather Channel and Pattern.
Welcome back into Weather Underground, taking you to East Aurora, New York. 29 degrees, wind 10 miles an hour, and the snow still steadily coming down. Look at it piled up there on the power lines, on the trees, and then obviously anything in front of that house. Don't know if that's a street. I think there was a fence there, Chris Bruin said. Obviously the sidewalk, the driveway, maybe the vehicles. But right now, Dr. Neb, everything is a pretty uniform shade of white with little lumps where things once were that are now covered, maybe to be discovered when they're shoveled out or when it eventually melts in May.
Yeah, and over the next couple of days, not only will those piles and drifts get higher, but you'll have on again, off again, really heavy snow. You'll have some lows along the way, but I don't want you to get complacent and think, oh, I can get out on the roads, things are getting back to normal. It's going to take until late Sunday for things to really calm down. So maybe only getting to be halfway through this. We've got warnings that go through Sunday, and warnings are issued by the National Weather Service because there is a life-threatening aspect to the weather. And if we're smart, we can stay safe. And it's downstream from Lake Ontario, from Lake Erie, and Lake Michigan on the eastern shores because of this very significant lake effect. And still to come, several inches in Michigan and many inches to a foot or two in New York. So a lot more to go, and it's because of broad low pressure over eastern Canada, but we have two individual areas of low pressure that are bringing frontal systems through quickly. And so they're going to dictate what happens. And you can really see this next disturbance kind of diving down in here. So there's individual disturbances rotating through, and that has a lot to do with the ups and downs we're going to see in a place like Buffalo, where maybe we have a relative lull this afternoon and evening, but then overnight tonight, maybe one long burst, and then maybe tomorrow afternoon, perhaps a lull, and then late tomorrow night, another burst before things start to calm down on Sunday. Now, why is that? Well, it's because of these two areas of snowfall that are happening even without the help of the lakes, but then the lakes just make them even worse. So as we go through this evening with the eastern motion of that first low in front, you know, the rate of snowfall might decrease, but then as this next system approaches, that changes the orientation of these isobars and it aims the Lake Erie band more into Buffalo overnight tonight. Then as this next system approaches, that band gets oriented maybe north of Buffalo, but then when the system comes through again late Saturday night into Sunday, then you're orienting things back right into Buffalo again. And with that system adding to the lake effect, and then by Sunday it's all out of here. And then you notice that on the second system's approach to lower Michigan tomorrow during the day, we could have some very significant snows that are enhanced by Lake Michigan. So, Alex, it's lake effect, but there are different flavors depending upon what hour of which day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and we started the event with like multiple lakes in play. We had Superior to Michigan, so you can get that fetch coming off multiple lakes. Lakes are fascinating this time of year. Now, Dr. Nab talked about the Buffalo snowfall forecast. What about the temperatures? Now, they are going to stay cold today. High of only 34 degrees. Obviously, the snow continues. That'll be the story tomorrow, but colder temperatures also come into play. Highs only in the upper 20s. We're going mid-20s on Sunday. Snow shuts off, but the wind takes over, and that wind will be with us again on Monday. Highs get back to near 40, but with the wind, it'll still feel like it's in the 20s. 38 on Tuesday, 39 on Wednesday, 40 on Thursday with a little more sunshine taking over as we head into the early and mid part of next week. But even areas that aren't getting in on the snow, they're getting in on the cold. So we've got very chilly temperatures all across the country right now. 20 in Minneapolis, 26 in Chicago, 32 for Detroit, 28 in Indianapolis. And when we look at our wind chill values, when we factor in the wind, we've got plenty of single digits and low teens across the region. 10 in Sioux Falls, 19 North Platte, 11 what it feels like in Omaha, even 16 down into parts of Kansas. Now, forecast wind chill values, they're staying in the single digits for Bismarck and Duluth as we move through this afternoon. Even sub-zero at times. A place like Omaha, you can expect single-digit wind chills to start tomorrow morning. Same for Minneapolis. How about an early morning wind chill value of 4? Going to be a brisk walk if the dog is like, nope, we're going regardless. If you got one of those dogs that's like, you know what, I'll just stay in bed. You might have a good deal there tomorrow morning. And across the southeast, it's chilly as well. 53 in Atlanta, 44 in Nashville and in Little Rock. And another cold morning headed our way tomorrow for these areas. Tomorrow, record cold. High temperatures also possible. A place like Houston only going to get into the upper 40s. Austin, how about low 40s? Your forecast, that would easily beat the old record coldest high. San Antonio, Lake Charles, and New Orleans also going to be really chilly.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
Are your headlights cloudy and oxidized, making your car look bad? Are they underperforming when you need them most? Cerakote's Headlight Restoration Kit restores weathered headlights back to like new and keeps them that way for life. Stop wasting your time with solutions that don't last. Cerakote's kit includes everything you need to go from this to this. Simply wipe away oxidation, give them a light sanding, and apply the ceramic coating. That's it. The True Ceramic technology does the rest. They'll restore clarity, look great, and are guaranteed to last. Available now at Walmart.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Winter is coming and Medicare is providing up to 8 at-home COVID-19 tests at absolutely no cost to you. Call 800-398-3143 to get your free COVID-19 test delivered to your home at absolutely no cost to you. That's right, get up to 8 at-home COVID-19 rapid antigen tests delivered directly to your home for absolutely no cost, including free shipping. Just call 800-398-3143 now. Don't get caught without your no-cost at-home COVID test when you need them the most. Again, if you're on Medicare, call 800-398-3143 now to get your COVID-19 test delivered right to your door at absolutely no cost to you. Just call 800-398-3143 or visit mytestkit.com. This Medicare-approved program gives everyone on Medicare access to request at-home COVID-19 tests at no cost. If you're on Medicare, call 800-398-3143 right now for your COVID-19 test delivered to your home every month upon request at absolutely no cost to you, including free shipping. Call 800-398-3143.
The stories of the men and women in the military who have sacrificed so much for us are fading from the headlines. Many of these brave heroes came home with injuries that changed their lives forever. But for some service members, the greatest casualty is being forgotten.
As a father, I'm eternally grateful to Wounded Warrior Project. They've been with us throughout our journey. It was a tough road.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you'll help provide free, life-changing programs and services to injured veterans and family members.
One of the biggest concerns that my husband and I had was what was going to happen to our son when we were no longer here. Wounded Warrior Project is going to be there for the long haul. It provides such peace of mind to know that Alan's not in this alone.
To join the Advanced Guard monthly giving program, call or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
You've helped me, and it's very much appreciated. I'm just one of many. Please don't stop giving.
That kid is an amazing young man.
I wish I could write a thank you letter to every American that has supported Wounded Warrior Project and the work that they do. They're changing lives.
Now is the time for healing and recovery. But many of these wounded service members can't do it alone. They need your help, and they need Wounded Warrior Project. Call or go online at honorwarriors.org and support our wounded warriors today.
Welcome back into Weather Underground. We're underground, we're under snow, right? These are your updated snowfall reports across western New York. And Dr. Knapp, these are insane.
So we need to change the template for our graphics. Instead of them showing inches, just change it over to feet.
Right?
Be easier.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, you don't have to do the mental math. That is 4 feet of snow in Blaisdell, New York, about 3.5 feet in Orchard Park.
With just 1.5 feet or 2 feet yet to go, potentially.
I know. We could very well, as you've been pointing out, end up in that 5 to 6 foot range as expected.
Amazingly enough, that's not record territory, but it is significant, crippling, life-threatening if you don't make good decisions, as my mom would say.
That's a really good point, because honestly, these snow events are so fun. The kids are going to have a blast. And very survivable, but can be dangerous if you put yourself out there on the roads. You got to think about things like shoveling safely, and also we got to think about our roofs, because this is a heavy, wet snow, and that's a lot of weight on a roof.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got some new video. That keep getting amazing images coming in from this winter storm event.
Oh boy. What is it?
What's under the snow? That might have been a vehicle.
Yeah. Presumably, we've got, some cars, maybe some backyard play equipment, like the jungle gym is under snow, frozen water, right? This is Derby, New York. You can hear the sounds. This is an all too familiar sound, the snowblower.
And look at that path that has like sheer cliffs on either side of it.
Kind of reminds you of when you go through one of those slot canyons in the West. I mean, that's really what it's like, especially for the little dogs. And our own Chris Bruin, he's out there live in East Aurora, New York. Chris, we've said, like, you can't even make snow angels in this. It would be like a cookie cutter. You would just sink down into it.
Yeah, how many Chris's of snow are we going to have after this is over?
I mean, we're going to get almost to one Chris, I think, and maybe above me. I think about my son. He's probably about 2 feet tall, maybe-ish, give or take a couple of inches. I'm like, if he were in there, I'd be like, where did he go? Where did he go? So it really is just a sight. I'm just looking around and all I see is white. I mean, it's white everything. The rooftops are covered in white. Every branch on every tree is encased in white, and it is just plastered everywhere. It's not a blizzard. It's lake effect snow. And if you've ever been in lake effect snow, you know how wild it is. And I think the thing that is even more wild is that, here it looks like this, right? You go over towards Niagara Falls, there's like almost no snow on the ground. There may be like 1-2 inches from the snow we saw yesterday evening. So it varies so quickly, and how quickly things can change, and where that band sets up. And it's a narrow band, but it's impacting quite a heavily populated area, the South Towns, which is part of the Buffalo metro area. We're talking well over 100,000 residents, probably more than 250,000 people who are dealing with this kind of snow. And just where do you begin to put this snow? Where do you put it? I mean, this isn't these folks, they're no stranger to the snow, and certainly big storms. 20 inches is nothing for East Aurora or Hamburg. But when you start to get 3 feet, 4 feet, that's getting up there towards not record territory, but certainly on the more memorable scales. We don't always get a storm like this every year. You got to have the right setup. And oftentimes November is that setup because the lake temperatures themselves, they're in the 50s. And that difference in temperature, 28, 29 degrees versus 52 degrees, is just increasing that moisture load that you're building in the sky, and that's then transforming into snowflakes and falling even more. So big snow event. You can see the band right there. We are in East Aurora, which is there to the south and east of Buffalo. We're smack dab in that band. Look at those dark blues. I mean, it is on it, and it has parked itself over southeastern parts of Buffalo. Downtown Buffalo right now, no snow, and you may even have a little bit of blue sky. We had that when we left this morning, so hard to imagine the difference 20 miles can make. But most routes across the southern tier and south towns are closed, especially the main thoroughfares. They are shut down. The 400 trying to get here to East Aurora, the Aurora Expressway, that's closed. Parts of I-90, parts of Interstate 190, the Route 5 going down towards Hamburg. So a lot of road closures here, and the snow is relentless. As we had to break, I want to just kind of zoom out, and we can just show you just the endless escape. This is an absolute winter wonderland, less than a week away from Thanksgiving. The question is, how much snow will actually fall by the time everything is said and done? There may be a spot or two that exceeds 6 feet. We'll have more live coverage next here on the Weather Channel.
Uso fantasma, solo dices desaparezco. Está muy fuerte como.
Got the rings?
Hello. You guys don't look that bad.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Luxury that lets you feel
infinitely you.
All right now.
What if my coverage isn't right? What if I accidentally hit a food truck? What if it gets covered in empanadas?
At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Thanks.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
But all you got was ham? And all you got was turkey? With gravy. That's an all-you-can-eat holiday buffet. A smorgasbord of all you want, all you need. Did I sit at the wrong table?
What's the #1 retinol brand used most by dermatologists?
It's Neutrogena.
Rapid wrinkle repair smooths the look of fine lines in 1 week, deep wrinkles in 4. So you can kiss wrinkles goodbye. Neutrogena.
When you're looking for answers, it's good to have help. Because the right information at the right time may make all the difference. At Humana, we know that's especially true when you're looking for a Medicare supplement insurance plan. That's why we're offering 7 things every Medicare supplement should have. It's yours free, just for calling the number on your screen. And when you call, a knowledgeable licensed agent producer can answer any questions you have and help you choose the plan that's right for you. The call is free and there's no obligation. You see, Medicare covers only about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. That's why so many people purchase Medicare supplement insurance plans like those offered by Humana. They're designed to help you save money and pay some of the costs Medicare doesn't. Depending on the Medicare supplement plan you select, you could have no deductibles or copayments for doctor visits, hospital stays, emergency care, and more. You can keep the doctors you have now, ones you know and trust, with no referrals needed. Plus, you can get medical care anywhere in the country, even when you're traveling. With Humana, you get a competitive monthly premium and personalized service from a healthcare partner working to make healthcare simpler and easier for you. You can choose from a wide range of standardized plans. Each one is designed to work seamlessly with Medicare and help save you money. So how do you find the plan that's right for you? One that fits your needs and your budget. Call Humana now at the number on your screen for this free guide. It's just one of the ways that Humana is making healthcare simpler. And when you call, a knowledgeable licensed agent producer can answer any questions you have and help you choose the plan that's right for you. The call is free and there's no obligation. You know Medicare won't cover all your medical costs, so call now and see why a Medicare supplement plan from a company like Humana just might be the answer.
Did you grow up or spend time at Camp Lejeune as a child?
If you were a child on the base while your parents lived or worked there, call White Hart Legal now. The water at Camp Lejeune was contaminated for over 3 decades, and many families have experienced serious health issues. If this happened to your family, you may be entitled to a share of the billions of dollars made available by the Camp Lejeune Justice Act.
Call 1-800-225-9200. That's 1-800-225-9200.
Check out the scene in East Aurora, New York. We're in the southeast part of the Buffalo Metro, and it is an absolute world of white. So we got a car coming through. I just want to show you what conditions look like when it drives. This is the road, all right? You can barely make it out. Let's watch how long it takes for this guy. He's got a snowblower on the back, so maybe he's going to help out some family member, maybe some friends, kind of keep up with the snow. And look, they just disappeared. I don't see them on the screen. I see a few brake lights, and there they go. And there's another car on the left. You guys can't even see this, but this is like a complete whiteout. This is Grove Street here, and we're 2 blocks south from Main Street in East Aurora. If you're familiar with the area, you know how beautiful this spot is. You got a lot of historic homes. Look at the light post. I'm just going to walk over here. You stay there, Mark. Look at this light post right here, and look at the unique snow pile it has on top of it. I mean, it's a solid 2 feet, probably a little bit more, but the fact it's just coated in white, there may not even be a light post by tomorrow morning. The snow may get so high that may get completely buried in white. But what I love is just the gentle glow of the lights on the inside. There's like a lamp on in one of these homes. There's another light on inside some of these homes, and just the gentle glow that the lights bring in such a dark afternoon. The snow is so white and so dull, just those warm glows. It's a good reminder. Grab a cup of coffee, maybe some hot tea, sit by the fireplace. I mean, I'll tell you what, that's what I'm going to be doing this evening. After we finish here, showing you guys what it looks like. This is the perfect kind of day to kind of hang out. There's actually a family over here, and I just want to show you what they're doing. They're hanging out, sledding. You guys sledding?
We are.
Yeah? You guys like this?
You like it, Tyler? Yeah.
Not bad for the first snowfall, right?
No, not at all.
Is this more than you were anticipating, or are you kind of like, okay, not bad?
It's definitely more than what I was anticipating.
More than you were anticipating. And you know we're not done.
No.
No, we're not. I mean, look how much snow has already accumulated on y'all's hats.
I know.
Wow. Wow. It's kind of hard to sled in, though, because you kind of just sink, right?
It is,
you
but
sink.
We pull them down the street, so that's just fun.
Yeah, and it's even more slick. Yeah, you get it compacted. Well, y'all have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
This is wild. Maybe another 2 feet, so try not to lose them in the piles of snow.
No, we might.
You get the idea of just, oh, it's winter, right? And this is the beginning. I mean, we haven't even officially hit winter yet, and this could be a big winter for places here that are notorious for 100-inch seasonal snowfalls. You know, if we end up with 6 feet of snow, where does that put us for a yearly average? I mean, we're well over 50%, right, with just this one storm. So, I mean, I'm trying to, you know, I'm a Florida boy. And I've been in some big snowstorms, believe it or not. I used to live out in Idaho and Wyoming, so I know the 700 inches you get up in the Tetons. But to get this much snow in one storm, I mean, it's been snowing for not even 24 hours here, really. And we've already accumulated all of this. Pretty much everything you see is fallen within 24 hours. So you start adding up that and the fact that we've been dealing with 2 to 3 inch, even 4 inch per hour snowfall rates, and it's just a sight to behold. I mean, I'm just looking at things that just stand out. There may come a point where some of these smaller trees become part of the snow piles themselves, because the pile of snow just continues to rise, and it's not like a drift. You know, oftentimes in blizzards you get massive drifts that will kind of block entrances, right? That's not what we're dealing with. There's not a ton of wind. You're dealing with just so much snow. It's just piling up all the way up. So I'm sure we're going to get some great time-lapse in video of, like, you know, the people that will put something there about, oh, I had a deck there, but there's no more deck anymore. That's the kind of snow that we're dealing with. And guys, this is a street. We had a plow come through here. I mean, I would say like maybe 2.5, 3 hours ago. And you can see how much snow has already accumulated. I mean, we've got 4, 5, almost 6 inches in some cases. So Dr. Nab, it is a full-on lake effect band here, and we're going to be in it for hours. And in fact, we may still be dealing with snow even into the early morning hours tomorrow before it starts to shift north and then finally come back through and call it quits. But before then, we may easily get another 1-2 feet of snow.
And it could happen in a couple of really main bursts tonight and tomorrow. So there will be some lulls, but more will be on the way. Hard to believe, given what we're seeing that's already on the ground. And with the lake effect setup remaining in place for another couple of days, we could have another couple feet in some spots. And we don't want to forget our friends here in the lower peninsula of Michigan and in the upper peninsula, where you have a couple of embedded shortwave systems that will then be enhanced with the lake effect. Here's one system coming through, and then here's the next front. Well, the low's up here, the front's here. And so when they come through, the timing of that is going to dictate when you get the big burst. So you could have the band aimed back toward Buffalo overnight tonight, and then you get tomorrow's heavy snow in the lower peninsula of Michigan with that next system coming through, and then it gives Buffalo its last big burst late tomorrow night. Buckle up. We got a couple more days to go.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Do you know about its camera? Like the way it fixes blurry photos, magically erases annoying distractions, and even fixes photos taken with your old phone. Now that you know all that, did you know switching has never been easier? Start fixing with Pixel, the only phone engineered by Google. Get Google Pixel 7 Pro for free, plus get Pixel Watch, Pixel Buds, and more.
I'm Aubrey. I went to St. Jude because I had a cancerous tumor.
These kids, they don't deserve to have to go through this. My beautiful little redheaded girl has cancer. You don't know what's going to happen?
Please call or go online and become a St. Jude Partner in Hope for only $19 a month.
I think it's the most worthwhile place to put your money when it comes to childhood cancer.
Moving forward with node-positive breast cancer is overwhelming, but I never just found my way. I made it and did all I could to prevent recurrence.
Verzenio reduces the risk of recurrence of HR-positive, HER2-negative, node-positive early breast cancer with a high chance of returning, as determined by your doctor when added to hormone therapy. Hormone therapy works outside the cell, while Verzenio works inside to help stop the growth of cancer cells. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making my own way forward.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
At Honda, we know you have to drive through the mud. But if you want to reach the rainbow, brave the desert before you find the oasis, conquer the mountain to see how far your dreams can take you. The all-new CR-V and CR-V Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
Spectrum Mobile is the fastest growing mobile provider in the nation, and now is the time to switch. Get Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $29.99 for your first line and every line. Spectrum Mobile delivers reliable service coast to coast with unlimited talk, text, and data. Plus, nationwide 5G is included. So get your first line and every line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for just $29.99 a line. Call 855-438-2999 or visit a Spectrum store today.
Attention! The makers of Roundup have set aside $4.5 billion for victims of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
If you or a loved one were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma after using Roundup, call right now. One phone call is all it takes to get started.
Call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
Call right now and find out in less than 2 minutes if you may qualify.
Call 1-800-866-5000. That's 1-800-866-5000.
I travel the world to carve a path for those who aren't afraid to get a little bit dirty.
That is the craziest thing I have ever done in my life.
Let's go on an uncharted adventure.
A freeze warning is in effect. Currently in our area, 44 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a mix of rain and snow early, low 32. Chance of precipitation 70%. Saturday, a mainly sunny sky, high 41. Saturday night, a few clouds overnight, low 32. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back into Weather Underground. We are live in East Aurora, New York. That's about 20-ish minutes or so on a good day, south and east. Today, it's almost impossible to get between here and Buffalo. A lot of road closures, a lot of cars being stuck just because the rate at which the snow is falling just is too hard to keep up with. Now, we talked to this family before the break, but now we actually have a microphone, so we want to talk to them. They are natives here of East Aurora. We got Charlie and Grace, and then Mom, and you said you and your husband, you're from East Aurora.
We are.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. So we're used to the snow, but this was a little bit more than we expected.
What do you guys think?
I like it.
You like it?
I like the snow.
How does this storm? You love it? You love it? I love it too. You know,
Just jump in there and get my face.
You already.
It's like a swimming pool. You look like you already did just jump in a pile. You're coated in case.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna go do it? Okay. That's got to be cold. You know.
Nice.
It's nice. You said you and your husband born and raised here, so you've been through some of the big ones. I think back to 2014 and 2000, the Snowvembers. You know, how much snow did you guys get in those? You know, let's say 2014.
Oh, 2014, about 5-6 feet, if I remember correctly. I remember she was just about 1, and Dad had to shovel the snow off the roof, and he ended up. You know, I remember seeing my boss snowshoe by.
Wow.
So it was fun. It was, you know, we never lost power, which was nice.
Yeah.
And we just hunkered down and had fun.
Did you guys learn anything that was helpful on how to shovel and how to keep up with it? Or after having gone through that and now, I mean, what's your what advice would you say to others? I mean, okay, if you live here, do you have anything that you've learned having gone through some of these before?
I would say probably just try to keep up with the shoveling as you can every couple hours versus letting it pile up, because it comes to a point where a snowblower can't even get through it. So try to take it a little bit at a time and make a fire if you have a fireplace and play a couple board games. And
snow day? I mean, how many snow days are you guys going to get out of this?
I don't know.
110.
110.
Yeah, you wish. Maybe just one. You never know. We'll clean up well.
Well, thank you guys so much. I don't want to keep away from your time out in the snow, but we appreciate you guys stopping by and telling us how much you guys enjoy the snow and some awesome advice and tips.
6,000 snow day.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, I'm sure a lot of kids are with you. So, Dr. Nab, I mean, you just see the rate at which the snow is falling. It's nowhere near done. We picked up over 3 feet and counting, and we've still got a long night ahead as this lake effect band still stationary across the east shores of Lake Erie.
Yeah, Chris, I'm going to tell you, well, Dr. Nab's coming over here. Those kids were so stinking cute. The
younger one did the face plant and needs to run for school superintendent because he wants 110 school days canceled because of this.
Now, Chris, we're older. We do the face plant. It's harder to get up, right?
You know, it's funny because the younger one was like, oh, yeah, I remember 2014 snowstorm. And Mom's like, you were 1 year old when that happened, you know, so it's
Kids
funny.
say the
just
darndest
the
things,
perspective.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
so it's one thing.
They do, but they've got such. Go ahead, Dr. Knapp.
I was going to say, it's one thing to look what it's like inside the band of lake effect snow, but what does it look like from the outside?
Yeah, over here you're like, oh, cool, and you look out over the lake and you go, boy, that looks awfully ominous, like something from kind of like a Day After Tomorrow kind of movie. That is the band of lake effect. I mean, it looks like a thunderstorm cloud from far away, but it is that snow just rolling in.
So we're looking down the spine of Lake Erie, and this is the lake effect snow band coming into the southern part of the Buffalo metro area, including where Chris Bruin is, and you see how convective it is. Yeah. It's not just, you know, a hazy, ill-defined kind of precipitation, and you can see on the radar how well defined it is as well.
It is, you know, we talk about like training thunderstorms. It's kind of like a train track of snow. I mean, that band is just those clouds building up in a line and just coming on through.
So Chris and that family were down in here, and then that camera's up in here looking this way. So you're looking at the northern edge of that band, and there is the fetch all the way across Lake Erie.
Lake Erie open for business, and it's going to continue. We've got more live reports for you. 4 o'clock, another episode of Pattern. We've got weather updates then, and then Chris is back for Storm Center at 5.
Hey, Chris. On the last stroke of midnight, nothing will be as it was before. Tick tock, tick tock. Oh, I can't be an evil cat.
Disney's Disenchanted. Rated PG. Now streaming only on Disney+.
That's great news. I can't wait to get started.
Yes.
Luxury that lets you feel infinitely you.
You'll always remember buying